Hello, everybody, and welcome to Alive After the Discussing a Murder episode 34. This is Jeff Jones. With me right now in the house is nobody. I'm all alone because I don't really need anybody because I can handle this just by myself. Actually, Big Jeff is with me here. He just popped out. He'll be back any second. Jack will be joining us in a little while. We kind of started up a little early. Hey, Big Jeff, you got your camera on. There we go. We started up a little early because Big Jeff wants to join us, but it's getting late on the East Coast, so we're just gonna start a little bit early for you guys, and a little bit. Sorry about that. Hey, Travis, thank you. Michael, thank you guys for joining. Hope that everybody's kind of filing in from the YouTube. We'll add Big Jeff back into the mix here. Do a sound check. Hey, how you doing, Big Jeff?
Hey, doing okay. How's the sound?
It sounds great. Great to hear you. Great to have you on a live. It's been a while since we did a live together. Oh, gosh, I can't really remember last time. A few months on one of these projects we did, but it's so good to have you here. What's going on? What's on your mind, Big Jeff? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm doing great, Jeff. We have a murder to solve, and it's good to be around discussing the case. And I just happen to be busy, pretty busy with work these days, and the lives end kind of late, and I get up kind of early. So, but it's good to be around one. I had a busy day today, and it's a good opportunity to wind down and sort of discuss the case with friends. So that's figured I'd do that. Maybe if anybody has any residual cell questions, they can pop them up. I can't see the chat because I'm not on YouTube right now, but it'd be great to answer. And we still got to plan that. Still got to plan that other live and to discuss that. That's one thing I'd like to do.
And I was wondering, are you isn't your wife have to go out to town with the ladies on Friday night or something coming up?
It's either this Friday or next Friday, so I'll have to figure out which one it is.
That sounds great. Well, let us know because as I said, Friday nights. I think we kind of pegged that down when we were having a little discussion in the background about when's a good time for us to go live, and I think that Friday nights we might have to do some one-offs here and there. On Friday nights, cell phone, and then of course we're working up to our Man Miracles, right?
We got quite a few of them, quite a few Man Miracles.
I think we discovered a new one today, and that was, what did Silkman say, that Tom Kasorik was actually
Penny Bernstein's neighbor. Yeah, I knew that.
Neighbor, and
they went to the same church. Yeah.
Is that a miracle or a coincidence? See, I'm not sure. I think we need to sort that out somehow.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember one of the very first sort of side editions we did regarding the 1985 case. One of the very first things we talked about was the Michael Griesbach speech at the conference, where he announces that not only did the Manitowoc County deputy police chief go to see Tom Kasorik because of phone calls that Penny Bernstein was getting after Stephen Avery was arrested, but he brought Penny Bernstein with him to see Tom Kasorik because she was so unsure that it was possibly Avery because of the things that were being said to her during these phone calls when Stephen was in jail, which was, as we found out later, Gregory Allen's MO. But that MO is not unique to Gregory Allen. It is a habit of a lot of sexual predators. So it just makes me wonder what type of pressure had to been put on PB to actually overcome her doubts. I mean, she's no idiot, right? She gave a description of a person, that was of a certain height, of a certain body type, a certain weight, about 200 pounds, and flabby, certain eye color, and Stephen Avery didn't match any of those. When Jack shows up, I think where they are in the foul play depositions, they're actually of the 1985 case. were actually talking to the person who oversaw the jailers at the time. And Kasurek said, oh, well, I relied on the jailers to pick out the photos. And as we listened to the depositions to try and understand who was in charge of the jailers, or who the jailers even were that picked out the Averys photo, the infamous Averys photo, to be in that lineup, there's just nobody can recall who was even on, or who worked, or who was in charge, or anything like that. So there's just zero accountability in Manitowoc for how that photo even got picked out of the jail lineup. So just that is just another stink hole to just immersion out of Manitowoc. So as you can tell, I get fired up by the 1985 case. But yeah, if Penny Bernstein actually went to Tom Kasurek with Manitowoc PD to say, I'm not so sure, I'd like to know what changed her mind.
Well, yeah. I mean, these are great questions. Absolutely.
That we're never going to know the answer to.
He absolutely has cell phone questions. So let him shoot off, Travis. Shoot your questions.
This Travis Williamson?
Yes.
Excellent. Hey, Travis. Awesome to hear your voice. Or not. It's your text. Or not. You're gonna have to read them off, Jeff, because I can't. I don't have them.
Yeah, there isn't one yet. That's what I was saying.
Okay, all right.
So I said post them up, so we'll ask Jeff, but we're just waiting on that. I was trying to see, and I forget who had the question. There was a question early on today in the premiere, and I'm gonna see if Shandy asked it. I'd like to talk a little bit more about or maybe I'll copy and paste it. Okay. I don't think I can from there. Oh, no, I can. Oh, yes, I can. I'll read it out to you there, Big Jeff, because I know that you are not.
Where are my glasses?
Yeah. Shandy wrote earlier that he'd like to talk about the new video that came out with Ken Kratz on YouTube. That was recently created, and it was Ken Kratz standing up against a blank wall and talking about the case. Did you see this one, Big Jeff?
No, I didn't see this. I thought that they ordered him to sort of go back underground when the appeal was still active.
Well,
so maybe he's reemerged.
It seemed like there was two videos, because it seemed like the other one was a different angle. I have to go back and review, but the thing that got me is that he's in Fond du Lac, which that's where I'm from. And so I found that to be very suspicious. Why would you be in Fond du Lac? I mean, if you're going to go to Wisconsin and do an interview, you do it in Milwaukee, where the legal law office is, right? Where the YouTube was the legal Wisconsin Legal Review, which is in Milwaukee. But he meets him in Fond du Lac, not Chilton. Chilton is Calumet County, but he lives in a different. So I just found it to be like, is he living in Fond du Lac or something? Like, I was under the impression that he was living in Las Vegas. And I don't know. That's what we've known in the past. I guess no one really knows the dealings of Ken Kratz. He's a mystery wrapped in a riddle, huh? Probably not. He's pretty simple,
no,
but
I think it's more nobody cares. He probably crawled back under some rock, and he's afraid somebody will pick it up, and the sun will burn his skin. Is what's going to happen.
And Shandy said he threw eggs at the screen. So, although we haven't broken any iPads yet, we're throwing eggs already. So, let's get to the question, though. Travis has posted it. I guess the first would be, is KZ's cell phone expert, did that go to its logical conclusion? Was KZ's cell phone expert, did it go? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. And the conclusion was that there is nothing definitive there. I don't believe that it was her expert that indicated that the Whitelaw Tower was 13 miles away from the Averys salvage yard. I think Kathleen Zeller did that herself with sort of a Google Drive quest. And even though it does take that far to drive that, if what's important in cellular is as the crow flies, that distance is closer to 7 miles than to 13. I don't remember the exact number. I'd have to open up Google Maps. But the problem is, it's just nothing. There's nothing definitive that you can really say. It is a very valid and potentially exculpatory point that she pinged at the White Lar Tower, which was well south of the Averys salvage yard. There's a lot of towers closer. It just so happens that tower was one of the highest towers, one of the tallest towers in the region. But given that, there were still some things closer. But is it still possible? Yes. Unlikely, yes, but still possible. And no one can now do any type of analysis on it, because that tower is gone. That generation of cellular is gone. You could do an analysis, sort of a paper analysis on how far you ought to be able to reach with second generation cellular technology. I haven't actually done that, but I suspect that you'd probably be on the hairy edge, and stranger things have happened. So that I don't think there's really much more you could do. But if you actually have any further affidavit than of his, because we don't have all the exhibits. At least I don't have all the exhibits. Related to anything that he might have said beyond the connectivity to the White Lar Tower. I'd love to see that and read that and follow it to its logical conclusion. Was there anything in particular beyond that, Travis, that you were questioning?
It looks like it, Big Jeff. Maybe he'll have a follow-up after you hear that. So, rumor has it. Rumor has it says just to Jeff's I wanted to see. I heard you talking about my idea for a Man Miracle podcast. See, that's who came up with it first.
Who was it? Who?
Rumor has it.
Oh, rumor has it. Yes. That's an awesome idea. We're going to take that idea. We're going to run with it. I think that was a brilliant idea.
Absolutely.
We have like 20 of them. 20 of them.
Oh, we have too many ideas, and they keep building. And I'm like, this thing's getting out of control. We're going to have to do it sooner than later. Otherwise, we're never, it's one of those things you just got to do it. And we can always circle back and add more when we find them, I guess.
Yeah, well, we're gonna try to figure out how to do it. Maybe we'll poll the panel and poll the chat as to whether they think it's an actual miracle or, whether it's just a regular old coincidence. But there's just so many of those, and one of the miracles is the number of miracles. How many miracles does it have to be?
Just the fact that there's so many. I mean,
I think it is a miracle.
Yeah, I'm on the list right now. You'd have this many. Well, even if you want to call them all, even if you labeled them all coincidences, which they're not, but even if there's so many coincidences in here, and to have that many man miracles, wow.
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree. You all know that my favorite miracle is Teresa Halbach goes missing on November 5th, just weeks before the depositions of Kasurek and Vogel, because that 1985 taking of the depositions was not going well. You can kind of see it in Tom Kasurek's face in the interview that that he gives on TV, even in MAM. And the reporter asked him, "Well, this must be a relief for you and your family." That just kind of tells you how badly it was going for the state. I mean, they were just uncovering things left and right, even to the point where Griesbach is writing in his book that Dennis Vogel doesn't have any type of ethics as a lawyer for doing this. Make no bones about it. Like I said in the last podcast, Stephen Avery, they really needed him to go away, and it needed to be a whopper. And if you ask yourself who benefited most from the disappearance of Teresa Halbach, by far, it was the police, or the sheriff's office, I should say.
Well, I'm on the page right now. I'll just list a few just for a little teaser. How about that?
That sounds great.
The first one is on our list is Teresa Halbach goes missing. Then we have item FL, the bullet fragment. But that already brings into something that I'd like to share with the group, that we found something about the man miracles, that certain items have more than one miracle attached to them. And that's just kind of when you kind of go, wait, what? So the key is another miracle. The property bond. It's tied to item FL, right? There you go. See, they're all
because had it not been for the discovery of item FL, the state wouldn't have had the excuse to raise the property bond. You can hear in the phone calls that Stephen has with Dolores Avery. They talk within a week of the property bond hearing. Maybe it's within 2 weeks, but it's very close to the actual property bond hearing. That there was a woman who actually used the property bond to be able to get bail, and she was also in on a murder charge. And Steve is talking with Dolores, saying, "Well, I know they did it for her. I don't see why they wouldn't do it for us." But miracle of miracles, what happens on March 1st, right, is Brendan's confession when the property bond hearing is scheduled for like March 7th or something. I remember the exact. Jack is great at dates; he'll remember the exact date. But within a week or so, and all of a sudden, with this bloody murder, they added 3 more charges, which they eventually dropped every single one of those charges, but they raised the property bond from $500,000 to $750,000, and that wasn't enough. And they said, "Oh, by the way, we're not going to take a property bond." And it was all because of the big show, right? The big March 1st press conference. March 2nd, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a taste, folks. That's just the first little. We didn't even get into the meat. So, why don't we circle back, Big Jeff, and Travis did post his kind of follow up to that. So,
sure.
He says in a previous follow play video, recently, I believe it was you, Big Jeff, that talked a lot about cell phone related things and the tower. The focus has been on Teresa Halbach's records. So if the records exist with Avery family cell phone, whether they were pinging off of that tower from Avery salvage yard?
Yeah, that's a good question. The Avery, so Teresa Halbach's phone was from Singular Wireless, right, which was a 2G service. 2G is the European standard, also sometimes referred to as GSM, or the global system for mobile. Cellcom was actually a different service, a different type of service. It was not a 2G cellular service. It was a 3G cellular service. So wouldn't have actually used the same cellular infrastructure. That same tower wouldn't have been in use. They weren't. It wasn't a time yet, at least in that area of Wisconsin, where they had converged on different cell companies using the same towers for their radio heads. So there may have been a tower close by to that one. However, being a different cellular generation, I don't believe that it's necessarily reliable to say that because you have further coverage from that later generation, that necessarily correlates to further coverage on the on the previous generation. In other words, I expect more distance out of 3G than I do out of 2G for the same frequency band, right? I think that's probably a 700 megahertz band system, or maybe 1.5 megahertz, gigahertz, excuse me. So yeah, there's a lot of things that play into it, including generation, including center frequency. But I wouldn't necessarily consider a reliable indicator unless it was very, very close in frequency. But even so, that different generation kind of would throw it off as well. So sorry for that babbling answer.
I don't think it was. I think it was really helpful. Give you a little bit of a breather, though, before I come back at you with another one, because he's got another question. Just wanted to give a little shout out to Barbara Ann. Thank you, Barb, for coming, and have a good night. I don't recall. Let's see here. Rumor has it. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate the question. Rumor has it you kind of tipped off something on us with the Man Miracle stuff. Okay, back to the next question here from Travis. Another cell phone question. Question 2 on cell phones. Was there enough attention put on getting records of Avery family cell phones to see how phones typically performed on the Avery salvage yard?
Kayla Avery says in Queso that that all of the Averys tend to use the same cellular company, and I think it was I'm pretty sure the name of it is Cellcom. So was there enough attention on the records? Again, being that none of them had the same carrier as Teresa, I'm not sure we're going to get any clarity as to whether or not they could actually reach whether or not Singular Wireless was capable of reaching the Whitelaw Tower. But I think it would be, we have Ryan Hilligus, testimony that cell towers or cell phone coverage stinks on the Avery salvage yard. The other thing that I'm missing personally, by the way, if anybody has it, I'd surely appreciate it. I know there's Reddit articles to this effect, but I don't necessarily. You can't always trust what you read on Reddit, believe it or not. I know that's a shocking to everybody. But associated with Teresa's calls, there was actually a document that was provided by Singular Wireless that listed the cell tower locations and the corresponding physical layer cell ID of the towers. That's referenced in the calls. That identifies the tower, and the calls also say what sector. Because each cell tower is typically 120 sectors to give you 120 degrees to give you 3 sectors that provide a full 360-degree coverage. So it tells you what sector's coming on. We don't necessarily have the exact orientation of the sectors for Singular Wireless. Not only that, but associated with Bobby's cell phone records. Which at least some of the records that we have, I don't have the map from the cell phone company that they use that indicates the tower number or the sector that it came out of, or the sector orientation. So if anybody has that or is aware of that, that would be great to have as well. As a matter of fact, very interestingly, and to hear Travis's opinion, that document was given to, I think, Seeking Truth for Good as part of a FOIA request, but that document does not actually have a CASO document number. So they were just like, oh yeah, we have that. Here it is, right? So isn't it odd that that document just managed to find its way into the system? Shocking that it managed that may be another miracle that it actually found its way out of the system. But why doesn't it have a document number? Why doesn't it have a CASO document number? So I'd love to have that information for the the other cell phone company as well. That would be just as important to be able to analyze the phone calls. If you potentially think that another family member is a suspect, then it would be appropriate to to analyze those records and those pings. How can you disagree with that? I mean, you can tell us what level somebody has to rise to in order to be able to qualify for a subpoena, if you will. I'd like to see Ryan's cell phone records. We know he had the 20-some drop calls. Where was he?
Well, I mean, absolutely, and someone who I'm always interested in is Brad Check's cell phone records and text messages, because he's the only personal person in her in Teresa's life that we know that she had contact with that day. You know what I mean? So yeah. I would love to have seen those text messages, and the fact that Wiegert just said, oh, he showed me his phone. I reviewed his phone. There was nothing nefarious here. Okay, but that's not enough for me. I'm sorry. It's just not enough. But you get me on a tangent here. We'll just try to stay focused. Back to Travis.
another miracle, you might say, is that Teresa Hallbach does not receive a single phone call on Halloween after the 3:45 call.
From her friends or anybody, right?
Yeah. Her friends who are at parties who are wondering where the hell she is.
And then we finally smash the burner phone and we go, huh, I wonder if maybe, you have to at least leave it open to the possibility, because somebody smashed a burner phone over there. I mean, somebody smashed a phone and got rid of it. Maybe it's not a burner phone, but
who knows what it is. but no investigation.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Wiegert had even just taken a picture of the
Exactly.
of the Bradley text, then we at least know what number he sent it to, and could corroborate that it was actually the singular number that we have on file. We don't have anything that says that. It's just so odd to me that it's Halloween, her friends are at parties. Oh yeah, Teresa's supposed to come. Where's Teresa? Let's call. Where you get drinking and you just call up to your friends to razz them, right, on Halloween. She's not getting any calls. That's just odd to me.
It's extremely odd. It really is strange to me. Unless you guys all had made plans together and we're gonna meet at this place and it's just assumed that we're gonna meet, or something like that. But anyway, I want to. We got a lot of questions actually, Big Jeff. So a couple more to get through.
Let's keep going.
Okay, Travis goes. Okay, that answers that. So question 3. The last answer tells me that Big Jeff has been able to look at some of the other phone records. Not sure which.
Yeah, we have Bobby's phone records, right?
And then I think he had one more. No, that was it. Okay, extremely helpful answer. Thank you I think it was for the earlier one. Okay. I'll just read a couple comments. Bethany says, I had the same Motorola Razr, and my phone definitely was able to read texts, and they had to be physically deleted. Yep. Yes.
And who did she have for a cellular provider? And when she got her bill, did it tell her how many texts that she, what plan did she have? Did she have like a limited number of text plan? And on her bill, did it tell her how many she had sent that month to try and entice her into sort of upgrading the plan to the next?
There's something missing from the bill, doesn't it seem? Like, where are these text messages?
What do you mean missing from the bill? Well, the whole bill is missing. We've never seen a copy of the actual phone bill. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
She did order additional texts.
We know that from the original bill of sale from the phone. That's on.
I think that's important. I think it's an important issue, and we know she texted Bradley. Or he texted her. I have to go and double check. But so we know she was a texter. We know this to be, but yet those records are somehow not relevant. I mean, I guess it's a different time. I mean, you have to. But still, you trying to investigate to find out who killed this woman, or you know what I mean? Like, this is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Dean, I'd say Dean and Jerry completely dropped the ball on cellular. If they had a better cellular expert, then at the time, a very good cellular forensic analysis could have been done on the texting information, which I suspect still would have been around inside of the what's called the SMS center, short message service center, in the network itself. And there's no reason to go in and delete them. And there would have been, if she did get texts at least on Halloween before her phone went off. There would be records of them, sort of digital forensic records that could have been analyzed to understand really when that pinpoint when that phone actually went off the air. So that could have been done, and what also could have been done is a more detailed, tool. They have drive tools. They have drive tools today. They had them back then that you could use to be able to understand the realism of actually connecting to that White Lodge Tower with a 2G phone, and the probability. Really assess the probability if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Stevens trailer of actually having a chance to connect to that tower. So that's just that ball was totally dropped by the defense. Can't really blame them. They're lawyers; they're not cell phone experts. But that's really, I think there was a lot to be analyzed there, and just not getting the text is just, and even the number of texts. How many texts did she send? How many texts did she get that day? Where did they come from? What numbers did they come from? That information should all have been known.
Thank you. That's good. I wanted to, there's another question from Katie Did It, and this is a really good question. It's one of that I've been asking for a while, and that is, I wonder at what point after the deposition started they decided they needed to find a way to set him up, and maybe I would change the wording a little bit and say, when was the turning point in the depots that they go, oh shit, this isn't going well? And I know that Coburn and Lenk and God, I think it's Sandra Morris were all deposed like I think 2.5 weeks before Teresa Halbach goes missing. I'm not implicating those people in the crime. I'm just saying those depositions also did not go very well. Yeah. What do you think, Big Jeff? When was a turning point in those depots that you were just like, oh shit, this is shaping up to be a real negative thing?
Well, I think among the first depositions was Deb Strauss, and one of the things that Walt Kelly and Stephen Glynn asked Deb Strauss is how they. One of the questions comes up about Gregory Allen, and evidently Gregory Allen, went to a beach. And this is aside from the similar incident to the one that happened at the same place that the PB one had. And he went to the beach and like dropped his pants and was trying to grope some woman. And Vogel just to kind of dismiss that as something like disorderly conduct rather than pursuing it as a sexual assault. And Stephen Glynn and Walt Kelly, asked Deb Strauss, well, how do you feel about that? And she says, well, as a woman, that's really offensive to me. And that kind of gets to I've always wondered about this rabbit hole theory. That tries to address the question of this. This happened more than once. This happened on two different occasions. This being that Dennis Vogel sort of dropped or lowered charges that should have been sexual assault against Gregory Allen. Why did he do that? You just have to ask yourself, why that happened, and I just can't think of a good answer why you'd let a monster like that back onto the streets. And are they getting, did he have some type of relationship or job or, I don't know.
If it didn't benefit you some way or the other, you wouldn't do it, right? Some way or the other, right? So I don't know how letting someone commit crimes benefits you, but, people do weird things and have very elaborate motives that I can't track down all the time.
I know Vogel didn't want to sit in his deposition and answer that question. We have the evidence of Michael Griesbach, who says that Vogel gave him a call and asked him if the article regarding Gregory Allen, and the sexual incident, near the vicinity of where Penny Bernstein was attacked, if that was actually in the Averys file. So one, he knew about it, and he wanted to make sure that it was or it wasn't, which convinced Griesbach that he knew exactly about it. So this thing was going south very, very quickly, and Griesbach says outright in his book that that Vogel knowingly sent an innocent man to prison. So if it was that obvious to even to Michael Griesbach, imagine how obvious it must have been to everybody else. So at what point, I don't know, for me as I read them, every single time you get somebody meaningful in the deposition, and you should listen to the readings of the depositions, because I think when we do go into them, and they are very sort of interspersed on the Foul Play channel. Jack and I haven't done one in a while. Like I was saying before, when you get somebody that's in charge of it, they can't remember who was the real person who did this or did that. I mean, we can't figure out how who it was that actually took Stephen Averys' picture out of the mugshot bin at the jail. They're supposed to pick only the mugshots that match the description, but somehow somebody who was 6 inches shorter, 60 pounds lighter, and had the wrong color eyes, somehow his picture managed to get taken out as one that matched the description of the assailant. So and we in order to ask somebody a question of how did you pick this person, you have to understand who that person is, and there's complete avoidance when the person who's running the department is getting deposed. So every single time you ask any type of meaningful question, everybody goes in, oh, I'm all helpful. But then when it starts to get into the specifics of, I can't recall, it was so long ago. I remember this very clearly, but when it comes to that, I have no way of telling who is on duty. The duty rosters are gone, new computer systems, ... Lots of avoidance. All coming to the conclusions that it was just extremely obvious from the get-go that he was framed and why he was framed, right? Because of for the Sandra Morris incident and her husband being a Manitowoc sheriff's deputy. 16 eyewitnesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you, Big Jeff. We have some things that also additionally to address here but yeah, great comment. I think you hit that one right on the head.
Yeah, there's lots of places. There's lots of places in the deposition. It was so. I mean, maybe the right answer to that question was there any one moment, or was it more death by 1,000 cuts, point? Right? Yeah, I think it was the death by 1,000 cuts, and after about the 750th cut, they realized there was 250 more coming.
Well, I don't recall I had a comment and said, I wonder if they didn't just start plotting this as soon as he filed his lawsuit in 2004. And I go back to what Ken Kretz said, and his statement was Stephen Avery started plotting this murder the day he got out of prison.
Yeah, right. Well,
wait. Now think about how he thinks. Think about how Ken Kretz thinks now, right? That's how he thinks. That people. So first day he's out. So I kind of think I don't recall might be spot on there. That
I think she's right. I think she's right. And when she says this, I don't think she necessarily means that they had victim picked out, or they think I thought that I think she's right. The wheel started to turn about how we can find this whopper, right? I think and whether or not they found it or whether or not they created it themselves, I don't know the answer to that. I have my suspicions, but I fully agree.
Bethany's got it. Bethany's going to add something to that, Big Jeff, and she says,
"No,
my
go
personal
ahead.
opinion is their wheels were turning a year before Stephen got out of jail. Why sit on the hair evidence that proves Stephen was innocent for a year?"
That's a great question. I'd love to know the answer to that question. Obviously, when Sherry Culhane wanted to run a sample because it meant something important to the Avery case, it got done inside of 2 weeks. But when it came to running the hair sample that exonerated Stephen, it took her a whole year. How is that? How do you reconcile that? It's either sort of a flinching or the final FU to Stephen, just so he can waste a whole nother year of his. Can you imagine having a year of your life taken away? Just walk out of your house and your family there, walk out of their life for a whole year and see how that feels. But Sherry Culhane, without penalty, right, without scrutiny, without criticism from anybody in power, it takes a whole year to do this exoneration. That in and of itself is you're an asshole moment. But you're right. What do they need that year for? That's a good question.
Well, because you have to run your end of the year review, and you have to include it in the end of the year review, so you do it last. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of another reason. I don't know if that's the one, but
yeah, we let it in. Some people rot in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Travis says, I think trial counsel at the time would have been able to subpoena cell phone records of all the family members, Hilligus, her brother, even Andy Colburn. All of those would have been fair game. And, it's a great point. It's harsh to say, but yeah, hindsight is 20/20, but I don't think that it would have been, unreasonable at the time for Dean and Jerry to do that. I really don't.
Yeah, well, if Travis said that it was available to be got, that just piles on. That Silkman and I have this running debate about which type of expert was the defense missing the most, and Travis just helped pile on my argument that there was a lot more to be milked out of the cellular evidence and the cellular forensic evidence.
Thank you. Duke, I'm not sure what you. Okay, Can someone please explain the Auto Trader landline calls? I'm not exactly sure which ones you're referring to.
Is that the one to Teresa's answering machine or her fax machine? Those?
Yeah, so we'll try to get back and let him clarify. JJ says, was it speculation that Steven used Star 67? No, it's proven. He did.
Yeah, he did. There's a jail call where he says, when you get a number and you don't want people calling it, you protect it with Star 67. That's what he felt that he was doing, because remember back in those days, you get charged for an incoming call.
That's right, and that's right. Yeah, so you don't want someone calling you back. Exactly. And Jody, I heard the call, and Jody says on the call with Chuck, recently's Foul Play released some Jody and Chuck calls, and she says, well, they told me that he'd never used that phone, or he had never used Star 67 before, and she goes, bullshit, I used it this summer. They were all doing it. It was just a thing that they were doing. Everybody, I mean, Chuck had, I believe he had said he'd used it. So it's not like it's this. They want to frame it to make it look like that. But Jody in that call basically dispelled that myth right there. And she's like, I actually did it this summer. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yet again, cops are allowed to lie to you.
Yeah.
Okay, questions yet.
So that's it. That we've answered all the questions. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think I'm just reading. We got through Travis' questions. Yeah, I'm just getting caught up. There's a lot to get caught up on the comments. I was really kind of behind, and the fact that you can't see them, I have to read out everything. Which is fine, not a big deal. I mean, was Gregory Allen doing dirty work for them? I think it's a good question. Katie did it, but I would say at the end of the day, if Gregory Allen had some master plan deal or something he would have squealed by now. He would have squealed. He would have said, "Oh, I had a deal with them. They said I could do any crimes I wanted as long as I kept it in Manitowoc County. They would cover for me." I just don't know how you would keep Gregory Allen quiet for that long. Do you know what I mean? Like he'd throw me a bone here, or I'm gonna start squawking. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not how it works. But
I don't know for sure. I mean, I think it wouldn't if you listen to people like. Let's talk to somebody. If like I've spoken to like Dave Bogatka, and he was on vacation when he'd been having some issues with the police. He went on vacation, and he came back from vacation to find that he was a bar owner in the Manitowoc area, that the person he left in charge, who was his bar manager, was murdered while he was gone, and he was a suspect until he until he proved that he was on vacation at the time. So I think there are people who believe that Kasurek had let's call it a goon squad. Was Gregory Allen part of that? Did he have a goon squad? I don't know. Was Gregory Allen part of that goon squad in 1985? That'd be a good reason for Vogel to be letting him off on certain things, right? Here, Greg, you do what you want, and I'll make sure that this weak backbone DA just drops the charges down to nothing. And it would also kind of explain how just an innocent photographer goes missing when you stick your goon squad and say, hey, look, make somebody go away. It does explain a lot of things. I don't know if it's true, but just I think we should all we should all speculate. I just don't know. Would that have been something that people would have been terrified to find out, that the police had a goon squad? Maybe. Was it?
I mean,
I don't know.
We've heard other examples of things like that in the past. People looking the other way, and you can run around in circles trying to figure out people's motives. That's what I've learned. Following this, like you can't really ever pin down motive to nothing's ever as cut and dry as you think, and yet it's always the simple answer. If that makes any sense, you've won the day. I have a hard time thinking that there was like some conscious deal, or that they were like, because I don't think law enforcement deals with people like Gregory. They don't make deals with them, but they use people like Gregory Allen. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we know. If we let this guy out, he'll be criming within 2 weeks, maybe less, and then we can just pin that crime on whoever the H we want to. Now, does it happen like that? I don't know. Can I prove it? No. Have crazier things happened in this world? I think you know the answer to that.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know the motives. But there's fishy. There's something fishy going on. That's all I know.
Absolutely. Trying to catch up on some of the other questions. Oh, and look who's here. Man of the hour, Jack.
Hey,
Jack.
What up? Thanks.
How's it going, Jack?
Man, I drifted the hell off. Whew.
So you're making a statement about how exciting the last premiere was?
Making a statement about how much I ate for dinner, and it knocked me the hell out. Man, oh man.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Gregory Allen.
Oh God,
I know his
Gregory Allen questions.
I know he's one of your favorite subjects.
Absolutely.
Well,
He's
here
not
you
talking
go.
about enough.
Here's one for you. Then throw you right into it. We do know on the 3rd they did transfer Gregory Allen from a prison to a local jail, but there's no documentation as to why? ?
No. We don't have any idea what was going on while he was there. If it was a crowding issue for a short amount of time, or we just don't know.
On the 3rd of November?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Christina dug that out, some damn document that she got.
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, yeah, it is an interesting thing about Gregory Allen. Okay, Jack, I just kind of, before you got on, I said that basically I don't think that you would make a deal with someone like Gregory Allen, but I think you would use someone like Gregory Allen. For example, you'd be like, if we let him out, we know he's going to commit a crime within a couple weeks, and then we can use that crime to pin on whoever we want to. Or, you know what I mean? I don't think you make a deal with him. So I was just wondering, like, what's your sense of Gregory Allen's role in was he just used by law enforcement? Was it just an honest mistake?
You talking about from that's a
1985. 1985.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I lean more towards and I don't know for positive, but I lean more toward the fact that he was some instrument of use by law enforcement, especially by maybe the DA's office, for information or something else. Why else would they protect him? There had to be a reason why he was protected, and he was. You can cut
he was.
You can cut the cake any which way you like, but it all still comes out of cake. Right?
We know from the depositions that the surveillance on Gregory Allen stopped after Penny Bernstein was attacked. Why do you suppose that was?
Yep. Well, that's a good question.
I don't know.
It's almost as if they watched him, like they were like, okay, when is he gonna do crimes? Let's it's the middle of the night. It's like his time he likes to do crimes. Well, let's pull off around that time. We don't need to see what he's up to in the middle of the night. Although he did commit crimes in the middle of the afternoon, so it doesn't really matter. But
But they stopped surveillance completely, right? Not just after. I mean, there was no more surveillance on him. Period. After that,
no need.
Yeah, why? But he's still a predator, right? I mean,
he served his purpose. We'll pick him up on the next one. It's absurd, man. It is. The whole thing is. It's like, and I can see why when you go down those roads into Gregory Allen and you go, what is the deal? And I think someone said it earlier that did he have something on somebody? I don't know. It's possible. I don't know.
Silkman said that. Silkman suggested. He was a peeping Tom. He might have seen something he wasn't supposed to.
That's been suggested. That has been suggested, and not just by me. And there's been several that have suggested that he had some kind of superior knowledge on someone, or maybe more.
But not good enough to keep his ass out of prison.
Well, but the whatever happened there in '85, whatever was going on, and they looked the other way with him, and then he did all these other things, and then up to and including the '91 attack, which he wasn't caught for right away, and then the '95 or '96 attack, which he was caught for, and got a lot of time out of. That guy, man. For those that are maybe newer out there that have not read about Gregory Allen and what he did in his life, the man, he is a monster that was let loose for years, decades,
yeah,
without any real time until 1995 or '96.
Right, and here's Bethany with the great, uppercut of a question. Why did Vogel lie and say Gregory Allen was on probation in Door County when he wasn't? Remember? Oh no, he's been accounted for. Remember the story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And why didn't Deb Strauss, and she was asked this question in the deposition, why didn't you follow up with Vogel and ask him, why, what he did to sort of give him that recollection that happened? Did you just, so in other words, is there a reason why you might have thought that? Did you contact somebody else's parole officer about something? Why did you think that? No follow-up at all. No, in this corrupt peg whitewash investigation, no intellectual curiosity from Deb Strauss on that front at all. Right. Another just drop dead moment.
Okay, got a question for Jack.
Yeah.
Stephen talks about Halbach being in jail. Wait, Stephen talks about A. Halbach being in jail with him in late November, early December. Do we know if he was related to Teresa? Stephen thought he was trying to hurt him in jail. You ever heard a story like this?
I have not.
I mean, not that it means anything, but I mean, I know another guy who's not related to the Halbachs. He's from Calumet County, has no relation to them at all. He's actually a cop. Do you know what I mean? So it's very possible that he could have been in jail with someone named Halbach, but they weren't related. I've never heard that story before.
Common name in that area, Joe?
I mean, not super common, but enough that I know a guy with the last name Halbach that's from Calumet County and is not related to them. So, I mean, common enough,
Right.
No, it's not like they're not the only family in the land, I guess is what I should say.
Actually, interestingly enough, we listened to a call Sunday night. One of the dispatch calls, November 9th or maybe 10th, where this, I think it's Todd Halbach, maybe. I don't know. He called into Mandatory Dispatch talking about his current wife's ex-husband, and the ex-husband's name is David Hartman, or Harmon or something. Anyway, this guy's name was Todd Halbach. It's the only other real Halbach that I've heard of. No, I can't. somebody could find out maybe a fuller name. We might be able to find something out. But
Now, wasn't he just up for parole or whatever last year? He must have got denied. I mean, I'm sure they're going to deny him. He's
Who?
the
Gregory
first
Allen?
person. Yeah, Gregory Allen.
Oh, he's not getting out.
I mean, he's not getting that. No. And there is that murder he was investigated for in North Carolina, I believe. He was a person of interest.
he was a person of interest for sure.
I don't think that murder's been solved.
There
No.
you go.
So,
That comes to the end of most of our questions. There's a couple that slipped through the cracks, and I apologize if I didn't get to your question. We're about to, but that's where we're at. Does anybody have anything else about for Big Jeff? Any kind of questions related to the 85 case or the cell phone stuff? But I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, you really hit a lot of good questions tonight.
yeah, post them in the chat, and when we do our live on the cell phone stuff, I think there's a lot of interest in that, especially given the Idaho case. So, if we do a live and spend some time on that, I'll take any questions you want on the Idaho for Koberger's. I've looked at that a little bit. There's no records or anything like that, but there's no doubt in my mind that Koberger was under active surveillance when he was on the drive from Washington back to Pennsylvania. And there are a lot of things that you can do to cell phones when you're under active surveillance, and that changes the definition of what we think of or enhances the definition of what we think of as a ping. That's kind of important to understand if you're interested in sort of the crime or the personnel tracking or what law enforcement can do to you. So maybe we can talk about some of that stuff as well. Any questions on that? I'd be happy to field. Yeah.
I'm into that kind of stuff. That's a fascinating case, and that guy doesn't look too promising for him either. But I don't know the details like you. I haven't been following it like you. So I mean, I went back and I looked at some other cases and reviewed. I think even the Lacey Peterson case. Now, yes. I'm not saying that I think Scott Peterson is innocent. I don't have any really good information to say that, but the media got everything wrong on the first time through. You know what I mean? And that should be exposed in itself, just for how much they got wrong on almost every turn. Right? The house smelled like bleach. No, it didn't. No one wrote that down in the report. You just came up with that. That got floated out in the ether, and you thought it sounded good for a news story, so you went with it, right? So anyway, again, not to say that I think he's innocent or anything, but we do need to hold people. We need to hold the media accountable if we can. If we, or that's why we have podcasts now these days, right? Because the media, maybe they're not accountable anymore. So that's why we have our own podcasts.
I think that alternate media is really big these days for that exact reason, because mainstream is so polarized.
So clogged up. Yeah,
it's clogged up with with polarization. It's more important to sort of get the other side than it is to report on facts anymore, is what it seems. And for mainstream, and I think going to these alternative sources provides a good balance, so you can actually make your own decision about what to believe, because whatever you see on mainstream, I'd advise you not to believe it until you alternative check it, no matter who it comes from. Just look at the recent lawsuits, and
kind of hard to disagree with those statements.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, people say we have our biases too, right? On this podcast, I personally don't see them, but
we all have our own built-in bias that we can't. I mean, we can't really separate them from. Even though as hard as we try, we're still gonna have somewhat of a bias, but. I try to keep an open mind to everything. From day one, since I finished the documentary, I said that guy at the very least deserves a new trial, and what they did to him was
came to the front.
grossly unfair. And I haven't really moved from that position since I finished watching the documentary. What?
Yeah.
God, how many years ago now? 6 years ago?
Yeah, Jack made a good point in the. I don't know if it's going to be in the upcoming recording or the one that we did today. There used to be a lot of traffic on Reddit that used to say things like you don't want Avery released out of technicality, right? You want his innocence proved definitively. And I'm with him in that, at this point, with what the Court of Appeals has done to him, and the fact that Kathleen has sort of just dismissed everything, there's not any option for any more appeals, including a federal appeal, on some very, very convincing type stuff. I don't give a shit whether he gets out on a technicality or not. I think he deserves that new opportunity for a new trial, just because it was just so biased and so obviously corrupt. That it galls me that such a thing should stand in the United States of America. So yes, I'm with you.
Absolutely, great points there, Big Jeff, for sure. Jack, did you have anything you wanted to
add? Well, yeah, I'm kind of right there. I really don't give a shit now. After what they pulled,
Yep.
I don't care, because
the bones. Oh man.
Yeah, the bones are, that's a huge deal. There's so many areas, but considering that the Wisconsin judiciary and everyone else have all linked hands and linked arms, and they're not going to give her anything. And in fact, they're going to lie to her, which Fallon did right out of the gate. He lied to her immediately.
Yep.
And he strung her along.
Well,
with no repercussions.
No repercussions. Nope.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, you're gonna get me all fired up. Yeah, because you have all these we have a policy, right? We have a policy, but the policy has no teeth to it in the law. So a policy is just words on a paper. You know what I mean? Well, Sherry Culhane broke protocol.
Yep, she did.
What? Wait, what? And nothing happens because there's no teeth to the infraction, right? What's the point of having a protocol if you can just break protocol? There is no point. It's just
that's right.
I want to pull my hair out. I want to smash an iPad. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And this is why people are so fed up about there's no accountability. We have to have accountability. People have to be held accountable, or this is just going to continue, and it's just going to be more of the, old boy, club, good old boy club, or whatever the new age club, because there's new conspiracies happening every day that aren't from old folk. You know what I mean? So we got to hold people accountable.
The problem is part of the problem is, and that's a great point, that you say it continues and continues, but I think what happens in reality is it becomes more and more brazen, and that's the real problem. That they once they get away with it, you know who Whitey Bulger is, right? The famous Boston mobster, the Winter Hill Gang. I'm from Massachusetts. I grew up. We knew who Whitey Bulger was. He was in the paper all the time. There's a Boston journalist named Howie Carr who wrote a book called The Brothers Bulger, a very, very interesting read. Whitey actually went up in the middle of the day and shot one of his competitors who was in a convertible right in the head. And when they asked him later, how come he did that? He said, because I just wanted to show that nobody could effing touch me, right? And that was the brazenness of Whitey Bulger, right? Because he had the FBI in his back pocket. John Connolly, who was the head of the Boston field office at the time, was a childhood friend of Bulger. He was allegedly an FBI informant, which Connolly was giving him the cover to run his illegal operations, and he was informing on his competitors and get the FBI to take care of his competitors, right? And that's the type of brazenness that we, are seeing that they see out of criminals. They start to think that they're untouchable, and the acts of corruption they perform just get more and more out of control and shocking to the conscience if you don't have this accountability. So yeah, I agree. We need the accountability, and the risk is not that it continues. That's one of the risks. The worst risk is that it continues and gets more brazen, and I think that's what we see happening. There's people locked up in the United States of America today who got locked up after January 6th. Whether no matter what you believe January 6th was, they haven't had a trial yet. They've been locked up for 2 years. This is the United States of America. That's just that's brazen corruption. Put them on trial, charge them with what they did, and let them serve their time. Don't keep them in a cell without even a hearing. That's outrageous. That's a habeas corpus violation. That's outrageous to me. That's even possible in this country. But there it is, right in front of our face.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we see other examples of that too. I mean, other cases where people are being held, and we have the right to a speedy trial. We don't have to have a speedy trial if we don't want, but we do have the right to one if we want that. And if that's what they want and they want to get it done, they are entitled to that, and that's how it should be for everybody, And unfortunately, it always comes back into money, but a lot of times it does for most people. And Stephen said it best: the poor lose. The poor lose always. I'm sorry, Jack, did you have something you wanted to add?
Oh, the Whitey Bulger case. That was I had never heard of that until there's a documentary. I can't remember. It might still be around
with Johnny Depp.
Hulu.
The one with Johnny Depp, the movie.
I don't remember. I don't remember who starred in it. It was I think it's called United States versus Whitey Bulger.
The one with Johnny Depp.
No, that's a real documentary Jack is talking about. Yeah. The one with Johnny Depp, I can't remember the name of that movie, but it was a decent movie.
Bulger.
No, it had a strange name.
I'll look it up here in a minute, but if nobody's seen it, if it's still available, I definitely recommend watching it, because this guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, Big Jeff, but wasn't there, I mean, not only like you said, the the FBI was compromised, but there were like 3 or 4 other local law enforcement
state police,
that were
state
also
police
compromised with it.
And Boston City Police Department,
Yeah, they were also compromised with this guy. He was a CI, and this son of a bitch did whatever he wanted, and no, he seemed to be unstoppable.
Yep. He killed people, pull all their teeth out because he knew dental records was a thing, and he cut off their fingers because he knew fingerprints was a thing, and they'd bury him in the pier by where Route 93, from where you can see UMass Boston from Route 93. They'd bury him under that pier with like a special. Bulger's henchman.
Yeah.
What was his name? Sammy the Bull.
Information from the FBI, like, hey, what is the FBI? Well, we always check the prints, and we always, chop off their hand. You know what I mean? Yep. He's constructing his crimes based on a lot of information he's getting from Connolly. Yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
It's a really good story. Also,
it is. It's really nuts and insane to think that kind of thing can happen in our United States justice system. But then I go and I'll read. I mean, I haven't read every page of the case file and everything that we have on Gregory Allen. I mean, the case file alone that Seeking Truth forgot's over 600 pages, and it goes back decades. And this guy was a career serial offending monster. Literally.
Absolutely.
He hates women. You can tell in his capacity of what he did to all these different young girls and women throughout his life. He does have 2 children. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but he does.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
He does. He's got a boy and a girl. And the woman that bore his children, I mean, he abused the hell out of her, beat her up, and luckily he didn't kill her, but somehow. But yep, this guy again. Well, obviously we can't prove it because, and that's not necessarily totally shocking because there's still information we can't get even to this day, in cases that are supposed to be a done deal. But this guy seemed to be untouchable until he was brazenly caught. Even the 1991 case out of Hennepin County, Minnesota, after he was locked up, the cold case, all that was quietly. What I mean quietly, it wasn't. There are no media stories out there about this cold case getting solved. Nothing.
Well,
It's dead.
Here's what I wonder about Gregory Allen then. If you have impunity to do crimes in Manitowoc, why do you ever even leave Manitowoc? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the truth is he didn't really get caught until he did crimes outside of Manitowoc County. That's where he goes to prison for crimes he committed outside of Manitowoc, right?
Yeah,
So
basically,
I mean, you can see a situation where somebody might say to him, we just can't keep giving you free passes. You got to find somewhere else to go and not get caught.
yeah.
If this is how you're going to behave,
Well, and he gets locked up after Steven goes to prison, and he's no more useful for them. You know what I mean? Oh, you've served your purpose.
What
now
decades after Steven goes to prison? Yeah.
So the movie was Black Mass with
Black Mass, yes.
Black Mass, yes. So I was not trying to tease the audience about wrapping up the show, but I was offering Big Jeff an out, and that is, I know it's getting late for him. We're going to transition to picture. You want to hang around and go through a few pictures with us, or do you got to go?
I do have to go. It's 11 p.m. local time, and the alarm's going off at 5 a.m., so it's probably time for me to go.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good one. So didn't mean to fake you guys out there in chat, but everyone has been showering you with lots of compliments, appropriately so, to say thank you, Big Jeff, for stopping in and dropping some knowledge for everybody and being on the live tonight. So I just want to say thank you.
Thanks everybody in chat for caring. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, when good people start to turn away from this, that really signals the end. And the fact that there's people out there who care, paying attention, and want to know more, gives me the hope that that not all hope is lost. So thanks to the people in chat. Thanks to you, Jeff, and thanks to you, Jack, too.
You bet,
absolutely,
man.
buddy. Well, we will see you on the next one, and either maybe this Friday or next Friday, one of these Fridays coming up, guys. Big Jeff will be back, and we are going to do another live. So it'll be kind of a different time a different day than we're usually on. So
it'll be fun.
With that said, thanks again, Big Jeff, and we will see you on to the next.
Sounds great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Big Jeff.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, I got your screen up. It looks like you got, what, Whitey, United States of America versus James J. Bulger. That's the documentary?
This is the documentary. Yeah,
I think I've seen this one. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. And certainly they can only include a certain amount because it's a one-shot deal. It's not like a multi-part. It's one, I don't know, maybe hour and a half or hour and 47 minutes.
I mean, it's, the thing is about crime crosses into history. It crosses, and the big crimes become important parts of history, and the corruption that he had with the FBI is historical. And so, and I don't know, I think I was going to mention this when we were talking about him, but don't forget, he was also on the run for how many years? He successfully was evading law enforcement for, I don't know how many years he was on the run. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
I'm going to look that one up, but he was, and then they caught him kind of, without confrontation, and him and his girlfriend. I'm going to double check that.
Yeah, I don't recall. It's been too long since I've watched this. I just
16
remember
years.
It was. There you go. I mean, this
16 years. He was on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted for 16 years, and then they got him when he was 81 in Santa Monica, California, in 2011.
Wow.
If anyone was wondering. And then he died shortly after going to prison, right? Like, he didn't live long. So, I mean, I mean, I hate to be like that, but didn't he pretty much elude justice then by only actually having to serve a few years and then dying? He lived most of his life
on the lam, sure.
Yeah, I mean, he got to experience life outside of bars that he belonged in. So it's. But yeah, as I said, a good, great documentary. Did you have pictures?
I do.
Anything? Oh yeah, let's load them up. People are stoked. They thought I was going to end the show, and they're like, "Pictures?
What about pictures?
Pictures?" Yeah, we wouldn't leave you guys. This is where we left
Yeah,
off last time.
This
That looks familiar.
this is where we left off, and where's Calf and Brian at, man?
I know. We're on a skeleton crew.
I know, taking that off.
Taking the
one bag containing fabric taken from item 7924.
And I would tell you, there were a couple of instances already tonight that I was like, I know Calf would know the answer to this. I know Calf has this right in front of her. Where's Calf? And she's, taking personal time, do her thing. So we will, be excited to see Calf back when she's back.
Oh, this is the TV remote.
This is the remote control. And that is no blood on the remote control. Was collected anyway. Like, really?
I don't know.
Okay, now what is this? I mean, fair enough. We're talking about burn stuff. Well, what have we got there?
Something fiber. There may be something.
This is the thing is like, it wouldn't be crazy to see cloth fibers. Like, I think, didn't Jody even say that she had burned clothes? Don't quote me on that, guys. Anyway, maybe she didn't.
Remember.
But it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for someone to burn.
She did. She did.
Okay,
yeah,
she
did say that. Yeah.
I'm glad that I wasn't dreaming that up.
You weren't. She told them that because they asked her about, getting rid of old clothes, and she told them, she had gotten rid of old clothes and burned them when they had a barrel fire or whatever.
Right, and it's either take it to the dump or throw it in the burn barrel. What are you gonna do?
Right.
Come on. So it's here. What do we got? Sifted. So these are sifted contents. This is what they are from Madison Lab. Okay, I think it's important. It's got a Madison Lab tag on there, and then it says Calumet County. So the property receipt number, location, Avery property from Reimer, pit near Stevens residence.
Yep. All right.
So these are the contents sifted. Oh, this is what they found. Now, just remember, folks. Listen to me. Just remember, folks, that this is the stuff that they were taking huge piles of dirt and dumping them that we saw with the skidster and making huge piles and moving all these giant amounts of dirt. And this is what came out of there. It doesn't even look like bone.
I'm not even sure what the hell that is, and the label's turned the wrong way. Maybe we'll get a better. No, not really. More fibers.
It just says fibers.
And it does look fibrous. I mean, it's hard to say what the hell it is. Old clothes, probably of some kind.
I mean, who knows what it could be?
Who the hell knows?
Like,
yeah, that's right.
It could be an old paintbrush. It could be foam from a sofa. You don't know what.
No way.
It's nothing. It's more nothingness.
That's right.
It's more nothingness. Okay, that is that the rivet? The old famous rivet?
Probably, and there's probably going to be like 1 million pictures of these rivets. It's crazy. And keep in mind that these rivets, as I recall, were not found on the first sifting. They weren't found until like on up into December or January, something like that. December maybe, on the second or third sifting. Not kidding.
Well,
yeah.
Bethany backed us up. She said that Jody did say she burnt clothes that were given to her.
Yeah.
And Bethany says that they look like old couch fibers, and I'm with you, Bethany. I think that's what they look like. Burned up cushion or something.
these rivets. I'm not gonna hang. Okay,
So
looks
that
like we got
huge
something.
box was what now? Some fibers? Look at how official they make it. Look at this big box, guys. State of Wisconsin Crime Lab. Look at this. All these things, big labels and writing. And you open it, and what is inside, guys? Nada. Nothing.
Fiber.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. Area on dirt something. It's south
Red
of garage.
garage.
Yeah, and
Bone
then definitely
fragments.
different
Area on
officers.
dirt mound. I bet it says dirt mound.
Yeah, that's right. Probably. And this says
Bone fragments.
bone fragments. Yeah.
Yeah, mound. It said it again. Can you can you go back to that label quick?
Yeah.
Zoom it in. Dirt mound south of Red Garage. South,
Yeah.
south of Red Garage. It's exactly right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And of course, that's the bun.
So how
That's the
many
container.
sealments? What was that? How many? There was a duct tape and evidence tape, and how many different? I just like to see, you know what I mean? Like, why are we? Anyway, it doesn't look nefarious at all. It's just an evidence tape. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
And this is a receipt. For some reason, they collected this receipt.
The front seat of a 1992 Buick Regal 4-door.
Yep.
For $35. Not bad.
35. Yep.
Those guys, they're giving you a fair price at Avery Salvage Yard. That's all I'm gonna say. Wendy Baldwin. Now, does that look like we were just saying a burnt foam of something?
Could be.
Are they trying to connect that? You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Oh, maybe. Look at this. We have foamy material, and maybe that's from this. Okay.
This is from Sturdivant. Return of officer. Madrigal County. Sales receipt, purchase receipt, ledgers, and employment records and other business records turned over to Deputy Rick Reimer, Calumet County. You know, they destroyed the safe in there in the office, and as I remember, and I'm going to get the number amount wrong, but it seems to me like I remember that Alan Avery said there was like $3,000 or $5,000 that they stole from them. They took it and never got it back. Money in that safe. Avery. I can't read that.
Notebooks?
Avery.
Approximate 8 spiral bound notebooks. Oh my god. Yeah. I feel like I'm playing Wheel of Fortune here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Approximately 8 spiral bound notebooks. Who's spiral bound? What are you talking about?
They're probably gonna show them.
Oh yeah, we'll see them.
Here's the DOJ
receipts document.
Receipt.
Cell phone. One LG cell phone and plastic belt holder taken front desk of Earl Avery.
Yep.
One box containing a who out there in chat can read that? Or what is a brand of one box containing 9 Kyocera cell phones? Kyocera? I'm going to try to see if I can see it. Let's read that carefully. One box containing 9 cell phone and wall charger taken from early. Okay. At Kyocera? It might be just the name of the wall charger. Why did they take? Oh no, Kyocera is a phone.
Yeah.
Okay, it's another phone.
It's a phone. Yeah.
Never heard that one before. See, we do learn something new every time we look at this.
It could have been, a phone that he found in a car, a wrecked car or something,
Absolutely.
in the desk. Do it in the desk.
Use it as a burner phone later. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. No.
This is the same thing about the notebooks.
Okay.
Okay, and then we
Johnson
have
Wholesale Buyer's Guide. What kind of vehicle? Grand Am. Bill of sale for the Grand Am. It says Earl Avery. See that?
It does. Yep. It does. Still the same property tag. And then we
Spiral
have
notebooks.
one
Used radiator. 4-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. 1990 Olds Cutlass.
Yep. $31.50.
I kind of take pride in how well I can read people's horrible writing. I don't know why, but I like to try to figure out. Jane Cannon?
What it looks like.
Why are they taking her? Leave Jane alone. Leave Jane out of this.
89 Escort something.
Automatic. Auto transmission. 89. She bought an auto tranny.
Yep.
Good job, Jane.
Okay.
Here's Earl. He's the manager. Ooh, that's a good picture. Earl, manager.
Yep. Steven,
manager. Oh, we are Chuck, Earl, and Steven. Not managers.
Yep. Al.
No, Al, come on. He should say owner on top of that one, huh?
Chris.
Hey, there's Chris. So there's some strong evidence he's living there and working there. Living there.
Yep.
What's the 20% manager?
That's Ma.
That's funny.
Ma? She's only there some of the time. Yeah, she's like, I'll come down when I freaking want to, guys.
I get my 20%.
That's right.
Blaine,
Joe, and Corey. Kayla.
Who's Joe?
Don't know. It's a new one for me.
No, we're learning new stuff.
Yep.
Blaine, Joe, Corey. Okay, Chuck manager. There we go. There's the spiral notebooks, yeah. Alrighty.
I don't know what this is.
It's a good thing these were digital photography because this would have got expensive, man. If they were using old 35, man. Miscellaneous documents and a cell phone box. That's actually where I keep I use a shoe box, but I use an old box for something, and I put my receipts in there, right? Every year I get a new pair of shoes, and then I start my new receipt box. It's just what you do. You should do it too. What's this? DOTs and truck number. Absolutely nothing related to anything or anybody.
No idea. Let me turn this.
It says November 4th. I see. So this is a bill of sale on. This is what they sold on November 4th. I mean, I guess it's relevant because it's work that's being done, and to see who could be. So name of an address of purchaser. Oh Jesus. Type of car.
Yeah, they had, depending on
Michigan Auto Sales, West Main, Michigan. For amount paid.
If they were turning this in, if they were crushing cars,
that's what it looks like.
They had to provide the VIN numbers so they could get sent to the DOT to get removed from the registry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the picture's a picture of that.
Who's the driver? Earl Avery.
Yep. So.
Michigan Auto Sales. Crush them down. It's like a blueprint.
What the hell is this?
It's a blueprint. Avery Auto Salvage is here. The flow.
Yep.
Cars.
Yep.
What does it say? Unpaid?
Where?
Vehicle store. Going to the unpaved. Okay. This is just a map just that somebody drew. Unpaved? Yeah. The pit. Okay, there's where the pit. See, we're always talking about where's the pit. What is the pit? Top right of the map. they define that as pit in all directions.
It's an area that's dropped down. I mean, we've seen
That's right.
Until I saw the photographs, I really didn't understand what they meant by that, but I get it now.
Because you're down in there. Why don't we go and look? Can we go look at that one a little bit? But I want to look at the corner of where the RAV was found. Oh, by the way, I found, top left. So this is, here's the pit hill, the metal storage, and the scrap car. And, yep. That's about it. Oh, Earl Avery made this on when? Oh, look, he made this right before. Wait, go up to the top again. It's kind of interesting. He made it that year. He only in May. Is that May or June? June.
June.
June 28th.
28th. I'm sorry.
He made a map.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not sure why they. Maybe for insurance purposes. I don't really know.
Cars that first come in to get ready. Battery inside shed. House. What does that say? Parts outside. Impound. I mean, maybe he's just organizing it how he wants the layout of the of everything. You know what I mean? I want this. It's not how it is, but this is how I want it to be.
Possibly.
Ideally. So it's hard to.
Yeah, we have no context here.
Visual sight.
Yep.
Pit hill.
I don't know. Maybe this is how he wanted to lay it out.
You see that? Oh, sold and sold means not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. Yeah. Interesting. Nice work, Earl, making your maps. I think it's just the same map.
It is.
View. Okay.
Junked vehicle bill of sale. 89 Ford. This is, I think, what we saw earlier. 89 Ford Escort, or maybe it's just another one like it. Gives the VIN number, and they're gonna scrap her out.
Yep, he bought it from her. Okay, here's those phones that we were looking at. D2. It's a lot of phones, but you know what? Like, you're running a business, and these phones were early model phones, and sometimes they just burn up. They're not necessarily. Even today. Oh, here's Kyocera. Do you see it on the bottom right corner? Kyocera. Or the frame. Yeah, right there. Kyocera.
Yep. I never owned a phone with that model, but I remember the brand name.
Yeah, once you said it, then it kind of sounded like maybe I remember that. Where is that? Like Vietnam or something? I don't know.
Road service.
Craig Figgett sold a car to them. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But it's evidence, Okay, here's batteries. Here we go.
more nothing.
Like, what would a battery do?
I know this is a spent 22. This is spent 22. They're saying. That's what they're saying. Spent 22 cal.
What?
I don't know if I believe that or not, but I guess.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It ain't 22.
Sure. It
Maybe
don't look like
22
it.
long, but that shouldn't make the casing longer, should it?
20.
Is it the whole bullet? Is it the whole bullet, not the casing?
No, I don't think so. No, the tip's gone.
I don't know why it looks so. Okay, more fiber.
Almost looks like fiber and dog poop or something.
Yeah. What do we got here? More batteries?
Maybe. I don't know.
Zoom in and see what we can look at that one.
Hold on.
What do you make of that?
No idea.
Anyway, like you said, nothing.
I don't think if there were batteries and they got into a fire, they'd bust. I guess it could be old.
Say what?
I don't know what that is.
It doesn't say on the label either.
It just says lab.
All we can see is WEL lab.
Yep. Same thing with this
There's
one.
battery. Look at TTERY on the pink. They're calling this a battery.
More looks like washers.
Oh, there's a rivet and some washers.
Yeah.
What did it say on that lab? Pieces.
Yep.
You see it? Okay, batteries. It says right there.
That's what. Yep.
What's this one? Brass from steel.
Yep.
From
Shell.
From shell. Brass from shell.
Yep. This is an object. No shit. Man,
it looks like an automatic toothbrush. Double A batteries that have been thrown in a burn barrel and or maybe in a pit and have been sitting there for how many years? Those could be Rolly Johnsons. Those could be. That's crazy. You don't know how long that stuff.
More washers. Looks like maybe a rivet.
More batteries.
What it looks like.
Yeah.
More stuff that's.
You gotta remind people you can recycle your batteries. Don't burn them in the fire, guys.
This is looks like an earring, an earring hoop or something, thing. Or maybe something. I don't know.
Looks like the hoop of an earring. It does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean,
a zipper
Oh,
deal.
A zipper.
Mm-hmm. Another washer.
Another washer. What do they call it? A piece? They just called it a piece. Metal piece.
Looks like a staple to me, but what do I know?
More cloth of nothing.
Yep.
Paper pieces. Why? Because we got to do something.
Yeah,
we got to make it look like we're processing evidence.
That overtime's not going to earn itself, you know? This one's pretty badly. I can't read that.
State crime. DCI personnel, state crime lab, Reimer. Oh, metal rod. Metal rod.
Okay. Well, it's not a very big metal rod.
That's what it is. It's a metal rod. Okay. Looks like a book or a journal or something. I don't know what the heck.
Let me flip this and see if we can see what this is.
Burnt paper. You don't have to. I can read it upside down. Burnt paper.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It's crucial. Oh, here we go. Now we're into pictures.
Yeah, we might be out of those. I don't know. I'd have to look at the. Let me see.
Is that the Rambler hood in the back?
It is. It is. Or I know never dusted
for prints, but we know that whoever put the RAV there had to, Ugh. Well, I did see a RAV4 yesterday. I took some pictures, and it was exactly. It was so close to her RAV, I couldn't believe it.
I saw that, and there's the Grand Dam, of course. I'm gonna back that up. You can just tell all that area up there. It's just mud everywhere. Just mud. Constantly.
It's just a dirty zone, right?
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't probably want to drive a low-profile car to an auto salvage yard, but that's just me.
No, probably not. Especially that one because it's pretty rough out there in certain spots.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, a computer.
It's like a laptop.
It has no relevance. Oh, Scott Blodorn? Received from... Oh, this is her computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is her computer.
Yeah, that's right. It was a compact. What about that?
I'm going to read that yellow. What does that say on the yellow part? Grand Chute case number. So why is the Grand Chute? So Grand Chute.
They sent it to them. Mike Belly.
Okay.
Dealey.
Scott Blodorn gave it to Grand Chute.
Scott Blodorn gave it to Calumet County. Wiegert, I think, is the one that took it, or I think it was Wiegert, but it was one of them. and then they had it for a day or two, and it got handed off to Grand Chute.
Well, here Travis is telling me that Kyocera is a Korean cell phone company, and I should be embarrassed because I lived in Korea for almost 10 years, and I never heard of that.
Maybe they didn't sell that brand there.
I think it's just kind of gone by now. I probably Nokia. What's the other ones that brought? Samsung, LG probably bought them.
I had a Nokia for a while, way back then, the day.
I don't know if I've told this. Hey, there's that. They sold that for $35 and then burnt it. Is that the one that they were the bench, the bench? Remember we were looking at. Somebody paid $35 for the front.
No, I think this was sitting inside the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way to read that tag, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what was sitting inside the fire, the burn pit.
Absolutely.
Frame from
Yep. Frame from a seat.
That's a real descriptor there. Brainiac.
See.
Can't read that. Maybe we can read this one.
Well, I think I can. Brown tarp containing burned material. Brown tarp? I never saw no brown tarp anywhere. Let me see that brown tarp. Brown tarp?
Yeah, I don't remember a brown one, but they probably had one there at the Averys backyard, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Sneaky little buggers. I'm looking for blue tarps, and here they have brown ones too.
Don't know what this is. Maybe we'll get a better photo here. Another from Reimer area behind Red Garage. Something commercial, something battery
jumper cable, battery.
I think you're right. I think that is jumper. It's just written really badly.
Yeah. And the label's crinkled, so jumper.
Yeah.
I got the knack, man. I can read people's horrible writing. For some reason, I got the knack.
Well, you're a teacher, so you have to be able to do that.
A lot of it. It's true.
I mean, if I had really shitty writing, I could have been a doctor.
There you go.
I'm sorry, that was terrible.
No, it's just funny. They do. They're in such a hurry. They have the worst penmanship. It's not just a cliche either. I really don't think it is.
But there are a few that
material.
Yeah, that's real helpful, right? There are a few that we have documents.
Oh, by the way,
their handwriting is beautiful. Yeah.
We didn't take any pictures when we collected this burnt material, so you'll just have to take our word for it.
Yeah, and forget about any GPS coordinates that's out, so get it out of my face. More burnt material. There it is.
Here we go.
Oh, dude. Here we go.
I think I've seen these pictures before.
Barrels and
so these
are
buckets. All bins and stuff that burnt material. Like look at those buckets in the back is also burnt material.
I want to impart this too. I'm not sure if you got to listen to any of the calls the other night, but there was a call came in from deputies. I want to say this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Deputy Inspector Shedder or Captain Rush. One. I don't remember. It was one of the two. Calling into their dispatch about, I think it was actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Captain Rush talking about he had 15 5-gallon buckets and that there were 3 in the department, so they had 18 5-gallon buckets. Now this is on the 10th or the 11th of November that they were taken out there. Calumet. I'm almost positive it was Calumet. I did a mix. I mean, these are a mixture of calls I did, but I'm almost positive it was Captain Rush from Calumet. They're providing buckets to take out there to get up. I'm guessing at the quarry, because that's apparently where they were working. Thought it was interesting.
I don't know, Travis. Travis is saying he has no audio, so somebody in the chat just let me know that you can still hear us. Oh, that's a horrible picture, Jack. I can't.
Yeah, it's too bright. They've overexposed it. Another horrible picture. Can't read
Well, it's like, here, let me hold this label so you can take a picture of it, and I'll stand 20 feet away from the label.
Right. There we go.
There we go. Kucharski, my favorite alien guy himself.
Barrel number 4.
What was the 6th? I'm the 6th.
I'm pretty sure barrel number 4 was Averys, I think. Does Travis have audio yet? If he doesn't, he refresh the page, Travis. F5, man. F5.
Well, I haven't seen anybody say anything yet.
I'm hearing it on my iPad through my TV, so.
Okay, cool.
Barrel number 1, another really terrible photograph that might be able to read. That says number 1, and I swear it looks like, okay, that's not a 4. That's a 1. Another 0 for penmanship. Can't read it. It's too blurry. Maybe we'll get a better shot.
Every property.
11-8.
8. East. It says most, but that doesn't. Eastmost.
Eastmost Lane. Is that Lane?
Is it most?
Yep.
It just out of context, it doesn't make any sense, Most latest? Most.
Eastmost Lane.
Got me. You guys know that? Can anybody else see there?
You gotta have you gotta know with our context of what what they mean. Eastmost.
Metal burn barrel with burnt
material. Yeah, no shit.
Come on, guys. Metal burn barrel with burn material. I'm just writing words because I got to fill up an 8-hour schedule. That's ridiculous, man.
Don't worry, Jeff. It went through.
It went through by DCI. Okay. Well, I feel a lot better by that. I mean,
yes.
I think. Can you zoom in on that? Because I think I need to take a screenshot of that for later. It was approved by DCI. What are you going to do about it, guys?
That's right. Levity. That's the key. Levity.
It's written in different ink too.
Sure.
Did you notice that went through by DCI is different ink? Come on,
that's
folks.
Right. Different pen.
Oh God! Now that we have enough capability to run digital images all the time. Like people from crime scene, you watch those movies sometimes and Into the Future, and they go, the whole thing is locked down. The camera, the little drone flies into the crime scene, takes pictures. Then it's everything is processed all futuristically, and cameras are rolling the whole time. Like that's kind of how you see it in the future, but we're almost there that we can afford to keep cameras running the whole time. Today you can have the people investigating it have body cams on, and that way we know that nothing funky happened. And we got to get out of the Stone Age. We have to get out of the Stone Age, or things like this are able to happen. I always think bigger picture kind of thing is people are always going to try to break the rules. So you just need to keep making it harder for them to break the rules. That's it. You just need to put more, make it harder for them to break the rules. They're always going to try. Always going to have people trying.
Force the bias to be
if you hand it to them on a gold platter like this, we have protocols you don't have to follow, Shuri Culhane. We have all these sort of, you can divert for this guy. You can divert the protocol for this guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
that's
come
right.
on.
That's right. But the camera.
So we have to make it that kind of stuff can't happen. That Shuri Culhane is rotated out. Like, no. You already ruled on a case with this suspect. You can't. We have a rotation because to prevent exactly the effery that you did.
Oh, absolutely. it forces the removal of bias, whether somebody wants it removed or not.
I'm sure she was jumping up and down with her hand. I'll take that case. I'll take that case. I want to get back at this guy. He's the one that embarrassed me. His lawyers embarrassed me.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not saying that happened, and I'm not saying that that's my official. I'm just saying.
There's a real possibility that did happen, though.
Absolutely, there's a real possibility.
Well,
more likely that happened than aliens came in and dropped that key, Jack.
No doubt. I'm with you there. Burn barrel number 2. Here we go. This is the Dassey burn barrel. For sure. I do remember that. Can't read it. And
nice work, guys. Look at the smudge fest on these guys.
What the hell, man?
Can we clean it up? What's the point of rewrite your label? You hand that in to me, and I'm the sheriff. I'm telling you, go grab another one.
Yeah, try again. You're rewriting it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to leave and pick up my girlfriend. Don't worry, you're going to be here rewriting labels. I'll go get your girlfriend.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone in this.
Barrel. Something. Number
you know what it says.
4.
You know what it says. Barrel with burnt material.
I'm sure. Number 4.
Burn barrel number. No, I can read it.
I believe it. Again, I'm pretty sure this was Averys barrel number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah. I'm sure we can't. Well, maybe we can read
and here's another issue that if there are people out there like me that think that there might have been some funny business going on, these buckets of bones and material, like that's not the easiest thing to just slide in a trunk and move in or shuffle in. Oh, where'd you get that? Oh, I was moving evidence. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here it is. And the deal with Ken Kratz, they collected the burn barrels, then he ordered them returned. How is that legal? How can you return evidence to a crime scene once you have, like, there should be a freaking law for that alone. That once you take a piece of evidence from a crime scene, law enforcement can't just return to bring it back. Just take it back.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, as I recall, that they had to call them back and say, you need to bring that back, right? Didn't they go recollect it?
Yeah. So with all this funny business going on, how is whether something happened or not, the whole point is that's to prevent funny business from happening, not allowing that collect evidence, like, make it a different. Okay, go get that guy's knife that we think might be involved in the crime that we found in the house. Okay. No. Take it back. Go put that knife back in the kitchen. Huh? Okay, now I'll go get the knife. Now you can go get it. What?
And not only that, remember, these barrels were guarded like around the clock until they collected them. Wendy Baldwin was on a burn barrel detail. A bunch of them were for clearly several days, because we were up into the 7th and the 8th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of collecting these barrels. They were guarded specifically.
Well, exactly. And then, Bethany, of course, hits a great point. They put chalk numbers on the burn barrels initially, and then they switched the 55-gallon barrel. Well, she says with the 50-gallon one at Cuss Road. I mean, it's totally possible. But the thing with the chalk mark is I saw the chalk, and the first thing I thought of was, how easy it is to wipe a chalk mark off of a burn barrel and put a different number on there?
That's right.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, when you're dealing with people that, again, they're not necessarily all of them bad people. They just don't know what little they know, and they're not trained experts like who have been brought in by a Deb to catch people that know their business.
You'd have to be smart enough to realize that if you're going to use a labeling system, your label can't be erasable chalk.
Right.
Because number one, even if there's nothing nefarious, you could screw up your case because you submitted the wrong evidence. And then when they go to scientifically test it, they go, this isn't it. You labeled it wrong. Labels are really important.
Did you notice the date on this bucket? Or what I said, 11/10, 11/11? Yep. Pretty sure that this came...
debris pile.
Yep. And it gives the coordinates there.
Now, why are they collecting stuff on the 11th again? Because they were all out of there, right?
No, they were over in the quarry.
Oh, in the quarry. That's right. Medicine lab.
Another one. Looks like another debris pile. 11/11 again.
You know, when we were looking at pictures a few months ago, and we were looking at all those little flags that they were putting in the ground and saying, this is something, this is something, this is something. I bet you some of these are exactly what we're looking at now. They just collected it all and put it in a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And then said, okay, you guys handle it.
What do we got here? Can't really read this one. Same stuff though. 11/11 got coordinates. Same deal. That's a really bad blurry photo.
Labels are a social construct. That's funny.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, like you said, the label's only as good as the person who's filling it out, right?
Yeah, you know, somebody stands back a little too far with the camera. This camera that they're using. It's just not a good photo, you know. Another one, same thing. 11/11.
Debris pile number 36. Yeah, we went through all those debris piles.
That one's too blurry.
I mean, that would be the craziest thing to be able to do. I wish we had like AI or something that could actually be useful for us instead of killing the world. No, I'm just kidding. But it could connect all these evidence with us, right? Like we have, here's debris pile 32. It could find the pictures for somebody out there, maybe not artificial. A real intelligence could do that. But that would be the most tedious thing.
Well, eventually,
to connect the flag that they collected, and then this is the bucket that goes with that flag.
Well, you know, eventually, I think AI could help in that capacity. You know,
man, that thing's scary. I haven't ever really been scared of it before. I always thought that, but I really do think that we need to just kind of let's not get in front of our skis on that. You know, let's not get ahead of ourselves on that because. I was watching this recent report about AI, and they were tasking AI to do some things that they didn't think it could do. And what it did is it created a job posting online and found a human to do it for them.
Really?
Yeah. So they posted online a thing about finding someone who could read the CAPTCHA, because that's what prevents artificial intelligence from, like when you have to go on the website and it says prove that you're not a robot and you have to click all those things. They can't see that, but they know they can't see that, but they also know that that humans can see that. So they just hire someone to do it for them. I mean, that's really creepy, dude.
Deer camp.
Here we go. Burnt material deer camp. Now, this brings into question commingling of evidence, right? Like okay, this is DCI, right? Because those are the people that were in the quarry and in that area collecting Calumet. Officer 832. I wish Kath was here. She probably knows that offhand.
That's Reimer.
Okay, same guy that we've been seeing then, Reimer.
Yeah. I was trying to read that date, but I can't. It's covered up. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, that was it. I don't think I had anything.
Oh, okay.
Just reading along. Robert Powell, debris pile number 38.
Yep.
What does it say? DeSuite what? Can you go back one? DeSuite staff. Can you go up? No, it's on the bucket, not on the label.
Oh. Where at? Oh.
Top. DeSuite stuff.
DA Suite. What?
Sweet stuff. DeSuite stuff. That's like here in Hawaii that we don't say the, we say duh. the thing, the
The
sweet stuff.
Why would they write that on that? It's
That's
so
what I'm
weird.
saying. Why would they? And what does the other word say on the? I'm sorry. Can you go to the bottom of that picture? What does that one say? Sugar. The sweet stuff. Sugar. It was somebody old sugar container. It's got
Apparently,
the sweet
and they've
stuff
tried
in
to.
it.
Wow.
Investigator Jones is on the case here, Jack.
There you go. Tag
Deer Camp
7963.
burn barrel. Deer Camp
This is the
burn barrel.
Yep.
Burnt material.
Yep. I think Baldwin and I can't remember the other one that guarded the. This is the 12th.
So I mean, just in simple terms, Redance is the only other property they collected anything burnt material from, right?
Yeah. Well, officially, yeah.
I mean, whether Redant is involved or not, that's enough for me to get a lawyer. And I can see why he wanted to have a lawyer at his side, because whether he's innocent or not, you're guilty or not, if your property is the only other property that burnt material was collected, it would make me nervous.
I don't know that it was the. They waited until around this time to haul that barrel, but that drum. But if it was, then basically that area, that barrel had to be guarded for basically 7 days, from the 5th
Right.
until, or actually 8 days till the 12th. That's when they withdrew. That was their last day.
I used to watch this movie as a kid called Robin Hood by Disney, and there were some guards in that movie, his animated movie. There were some guards that were like sleeping the whole time. That's kind of what I picture when you talk about people guarding these buckets. Yeah, right.
Well, sure,
They
because
put it in a closet and they locked the door or something and went to lunch.
This is all overtime, because these people had. I mean, a lot of them worked on their off day, but sometimes these people were working after their normal patrol duty or whatever duty at the sheriff's office or whatever job. They may have been a reserve deputy or whatever. Another 1111, same shit. That one's really blurry. 84. All I can really read is 8619. I'm not even going to try on that one. Or that one. It's definitely too far away. Might be able to get something from this one. 1110. Officer, I think it's the same, Robert Powell. I really can't read it.
Something trailer. We could read something trailer in there.
Red trailer or something, maybe?
Yeah, red trailer, Averys property. What does that one say? Yeah.
Probably the same thing. I'm not zooming in on that.
I follow this one social media girl or woman, and she does lip reading. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite channels because there's always people talking like at an arena or something, and you don't know what they're saying, but she can read their lips. It's awesome.
That's funny.
So whose computer is this? Steven's?
Pretty sure this is Steven's computer. I can't read it. Maybe we'll get a better shot. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Steven's computer.
Oh, I can see that. Grand Shoot. Yeah, Grand Shoot case number. And then
I'm
try
almost
the top.
positive.
I might be able to give me a shot at that orange one. Oh yeah. HP Pavilion. From the living room, Avery Road. What's 1293? I mean, I don't know. The HP Pavilion is the computer tower that the Dassey family had. I'm almost positive. What's their address? 12932.
Well,
Is anybody know out there?
The Dassey's computer wasn't taken during this time frame. Only Stevens.
Then it's got to be Stevens.
And look at the date. As I recall, the finding of the key, this precipitated the finding of the key because allegedly they went in to get this computer, and then allegedly Coburn got this wild hair about searching that bedroom again, as I recall. Anyway, moving on. The Suzuki back door been removed, and they brought it with them for some reason.
Well, 12932 is Steven's trailer.
Yeah.
I just double checked it. Or Raleigh Johnson's trailer, I should say. I don't know. I shouldn't make too many jokes, but a Raleigh Johnson sounds like some kind of drink you'd have. Do you know? Doesn't it sound like it?
Yeah. I have a Raleigh Johnson, please.
Yeah, we had a couple
Give
of
me a-
Raleigh Johnsons last night.
Give me a Raleigh.
Yeah, I bet
door
you'd like
off of Suzuki.
Samurai with print.
With print. Yep.
But why? I mean, it says print, but I don't know why you'd write with print.
Well,
Okay.
that indicates to me that there's fingerprints on it. I don't remember hearing about any latent prints.
Oh, fingerprint. I got you.
Yeah. I don't remember hearing about any latent prints on the Suzuki door. Doesn't surprise me that there's some on it.
It's because it didn't help the case. That's
Yeah.
That's why you didn't hear about it.
Miscellaneous computer equipment, storage door,
Devices.
11-8. Yes, I'm just sorry, storage devices. Okay. And guns. Here you go. We were talking about guns at some point. I think maybe it was Doc was talking about it.
Big boy. That's got some boom power right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 guns in this. I mean, they had a lot of guns there. There's no doubt. And every house. Ooh, look at that nice scope there.
It's a shiny beast. Take down a couple elk or a deer or a bear.
What we got here?
Who's 20? It's a 22 caliber.
Yep.
West bedroom off of bathroom. Lincoln Colburn found it.
Of course they did.
With B. Tyson? With Tyson? Is that a guy there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were with Tyson.
Yeah. Yep.
I bet you those are Colburn's shoes.
Probably.
Link Colburn and officer witnesses. They had to be babysit. Just to remind everybody out there that Manitowoc needed a babysitter because they were in trouble for breaking the law.
Shouldn't have been there.
They were going to semi-auto. This is a 30-06. Master bedroom in the cabinet.
12-930A.
I can check.
I think these
12-930.
I think this is I think this is Barb's house. I think, but I could be wrong. But I think it's right.
Okay, 12-930.
Yeah, I think that's the same one.
It might be Ma's house.
Could be.
Let's see here on my scope. Which house is the one that's like the first house?
I think it's either Chuck's or. I think the Chucks are. I think it.
Either Chuck's or Ma's. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think. Well, now I mean, let's talk about 2005 is what I mean. But everybody's moved since then, obviously. But so Chuck's house is closer back. Back to the pit. His is close to that. And that first house is Ma Averys, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Mom and Pop Averys. So.
Right.
So these guns are coming from, which is fun. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that Allen has a lot of guns.
Oh yeah. This is Barb Taddick, or Barb Yonda. I said Taddick.
What does that say? A Sturm Ruger?
Yep. 223 cal. Yep. Oh, nice. Um, New shop building, private office, middle right drawer Harsky.
Raven Arms model MP25. What MP25? I have MP30s. Those are at golf clubs, though.
Haha.
I was just saying that, it looks like a lot of guns, but if you're into shooting and you're into hunting and you buy, let's say you buy one of those, that 30-06 there, and you take it hunting a couple times and you're like, it's just not working for me. I can't seem to, it doesn't mesh well with me. Right? I need to try this other model. So then you get another one. You know what I mean? You know how many golf clubs I have here that I don't use?
Yep. And
I can't
people,
judge people. You know what I mean? Like,
not,
oh, I got to
and
try
guns,
this now. I got to get this different one. I like this new model because it's cooler looking, Yeah.
unless you just break intentionally damage a gun, they're a commodity, that people trade them all the time,
Very true. They have value.
They do. I'll rotate this, make it a little easier.
Should have told my stepdad that because he was a gunsmith for years and I think he lost his ass. I was like, you're the only guy I know who can run a gun store and lose money. It's a butt of a joke for a little bit, but he's a good guy.
That's unfortunate that he lost money because normally,
I think his habit took control. To be honest, I shouldn't judge him, but I think his habit of loving guns, kind of like, I want to buy this one. I want to buy this one.
Well, now, you can become gun poor. That's for sure.
I might have been it. He might have been gun poor.
Bullet belt there.
Yeah, it's time to go to war belt. Kasork's got a tank out front belt.
There you go.
I mean, what else would you need that? You know what I mean? How many? I guess if you're bird, like what would to reload a lot quickly? I guess if you're in the
or squirrel or
Yeah, I guess you're out really deep in the woods, you'd definitely want that. The bigger caliber, the less you can hold in the magazine, right? Like basically.
Right.
So with these big guns, you got to carry all this heavy. See, I had a gun like that. Can you zoom into that one? That's a really old bugger. It's a single action.
Looks like a shotgun.
Yeah, I had a gun really similar to that, really old one. My grandfather had them, and they were not in as good of condition as that one. But that's just a single shot. Like, that's a big boy. You're gonna get messed up playing like that.
That's like a 12 gauge to me, but
it's a boomer. Yeah, for sure.
And then a bunch of mini mags. I think the 22 longs or whatever. Yeah, these are 22 longs. A bunch of those. Couple of.
22s are really common, but the danger with the 22 is that they are known to fly really far.
Oh yeah.
So if you were to aim one, they'll go a mile or something like that. You know what I mean? You have to be a shotgun. It's gonna go like 1,000 feet or something like that. Like it's gonna disperse and fall down.
It loses power pretty quickly.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Somebody appreciates history, huh? That looks like the pearl pistols from Tank Commander. What's his name?
Patton?
Yeah, Patton. And he probably did it because some general brigadier in the Civil War did it. You know what I mean?
says that's a 22 pistol. I mean, it's not very big, so I guess it is.
What does it say?
I never had a 22. Yeah, I never had a 22
pistol. Yep, absolutely. I think they're more and more common actually because the bullets are so damn cheap.
And those hollow point bullets, it's just a miracle that Item FL and Item FK survived at all because they're made to disintegrate.
It is a miracle. It's a man miracle because that bullet hit anything.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it just hit wood and went through the garage, it really should have mushroomed more or something,
Yeah, splintered out. Yeah, that's what they're made to do. But if it hit flesh, that's what they're made to do.
I really dug in. Yeah, absolutely. They're designed to implode on impact or explode on impact, and not exit the body. I looked into it, and that is exactly why some law enforcement agencies use it, because they don't want collateral damage. They don't
Right.
want to hit their target and then hit grandma too. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
that's why they want their, when they take aim, they shoot it, and the bullet stops in the person. So just like you said, the fact that it even exists in its condition is crazy. There's a tripod bag.
This bag was found not here. This is, well, after the fact. This bag was actually sitting in
In the
front of the
seat.
back
Yeah,
seat in
yeah,
the
yeah.
floor. In the floor. This is after it came back from the. Let's see if we can get a date here.
I just looked
Data.
at these because I was looking at these bags, and reading the labels on there and stuff, and there were some things in here that haven't necessarily been tested, and I always thought, well, I'm not a lawyer, but at some point, don't you have to start testing some physical evidence? You got to find something somewhere,
Yeah.
somehow, that puts another person in that RAV, that brings doubt into the case. And the only way to do that is to start testing things. And
Oh,
I
run
mean,
the
that's
prints
just,
that run the
I'm
fingerprints
not
they
a
do have
lawyer.
through APIS.
I'm not
If
even a
it,
full partner yet at the Big Jeff and J Jack's law firm. I'm just
yeah,
a
but
junior partner, but
you will
I'm
be.
someday.
Now, this is taken January 13th, 2006. So this is a couple months after it came back from the crime lab, wherever
Same
they've got
day,
it
a lot
sitting
of
at.
pictures were taken. A lot of pictures were taken 11th, 12th,
Well,
13th.
I'm thinking about this second. Where are they at? Where they got this thing stored at? I see
Where are
concrete.
those oil marks?
I don't know.
And we'll have to identify the place with the oil spots. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
So I think you can read these bags. I forget what they were. They're like a pen, and yeah, green pen. Good memory. Window cleaner wipes. Yep. I was just looking at these not that long ago.
Yeah.
Um, on I can't read that one.
No, I couldn't read that one either.
But
And you
blue
can't read.
pen. I mean, we don't know what's on blue pen.
Well, I mean, they could have potentially gotten touch DNA off of it. I'm sure it was probably Teresa's pen, but you never know.
Right.
Now, I think we're going to get into some photos that were taken again. I think let's look at the date. Yeah, we're still January 13th. So wherever they're at, taking these internal photos of the back of the RAV. They're not super low quality, but they're not super high quality either, because you can tell it's starting to grain out already.
Yeah.
These are
Well,
some
I also
interesting
see
photos, though.
some. Okay,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, no, no. I don't have anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, these are some interesting photos, but uh, one of the areas that is always of concern to me is right there. You can still see the tag is on it. Something
Yeah.
happened in that area.
Yeah, and you notice how the dust has been moved away?
Yep.
You guys
Now,
see that?
TikTok,
Where it's all
TikTok,
dirty, 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 except for that one area where it's been cleaned, and then there's a mark there, and then look at who's the guy on over the shoulder here with the wedding ring on.
uh, I'm
Someone
not
out
sure
of
who that is. Yeah, I'm not sure who
not
that is.
Remaker because his hair is too red. Spot him a mile away. It's probably
Um,
Reimer, the guy who's been doing all this.
I mean, this
Oh
looks
yeah,
like
if you
a
could get in
something.
that, come on,
I
come
mean, it
on. What
looks.
does it say? It says frame Avery with the what is that? What?
I can't read
Sorek did it? What? I can't read it.
it. Keep going. You're onto something.
I can almost there. Wiegert has the evidence. What?
But this tag here, this area, TikTok Manitowoc and I believe that there was an indentation, a hole in this area. Now, other people think it might have been bird shit, but
Hmm.
why would they mark this area on the RAV if it was bird dicky? I don't think they would, but what do I know? This is one of the photos from that Kratz used for his book. All this dust in the back.
It always bothered me that those storage doors are open.
Well,
The
there's
panel is missing.
there's a cover is gone. Yeah, the
Yeah.
covers are gone.
I mean, doesn't that? And then notice how everything's dusty inside it, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man!
Yeah.
It looks like the panel was taken off, in during this or something. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
don't know. Uh, it doesn't look.
Well,
It
I
looks
mean,
like the panels were there, and now they're not there. And why aren't the panels there?
correct.
Where are those panels?
Yep.
These are good pictures, though.
Yeah, they're not bad.
See, right there, if you were to zoom in on that rubber, the black rubber that goes through the whole frame up to down, no, on the left. There you go. This rubber strip, it goes, see the black rubber strip down. Now, right in these cracks here, right in those cracks down. See, you move your cursor. Yeah, see, I would get my M back or whatever right in these crannies right in here where whoever did it, the killer couldn't have sopped up everything, couldn't have got every little drop. And
Right.
can you scroll down a little bit but keep zoomed in? Yeah, see right in here. Oh, around that screw.
That's the
Look at
bottom
that
of the
little,
photo of the.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, it's the bottom of the
Never.
photo. Perfect. But yeah, right in
You
there.
never,
Look at all that material in there.
you never know what could have still survive.
Yeah.
Potentially, that's right. You never know. And MVAC would find it.
It
I did
would,
want to
you know,
point.
and
I did want to point out this is the Toyota toolkit.
the one that goes with the car. So it's the
Car,
proper
yeah.
toolkit for the car.
That's correct. That's right.
Does it look like, see now that side does not look dusty inside, does it?
Not as, but
Right.
it's like this one had a cover on it much later than the other side. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if this was in there, I mean, I do see some dust kind of on, but it's hard to tell with these photos for sure. You know, I see dust
Mm-hmm.
on top
If
of
you see
these.
dust or you see kind of a glare of something, it's hard to
Yeah, it's hard to
know for
differentiate.
sure.
That's
You
right.
know, we're talking about this kit, this emergency kit or the repair kit, right?
Yep.
You know, there's always some suspicion around Tom Pierce and bringing up this kit, right?
Yep.
And I kind of recently been under the idea that law enforcement was trying to play everyone and trying to manipulate anyone that they could to help them move their narrative forward. So they might have been like, hey, do you know anything about this emergency kit, wink, wink, that they found in Averys garage? You know, because they found one in his garage. Remember, we just saw those pictures.
Yeah, it was
Do
on the
you know
note
anything
actually.
about this? Could it have been that it came from Teresa's and then wink, wink, and then he goes, yeah, I gave her one like that, right? Because he wants to help get the killer too, and they're just manipulating everything. Like that's where I get into a problem when we listen to, official reports.
Well, you think again. Also, if he gave her an emergency roadside kit, where the hell is it? Because it's not in the
There
RAV.
you go. There you go.
According to what we know, there was not an emergency roadside kit found in that RAV.
So I would propose that they may have had an idea that they could have used the kit to connect Steven to her, saying, oh, and then he took her kit and put it in, but it's actually Steven's kit, right? But they figured out, oh, that's not going to work, so they just abandoned it.
Yeah.
That's what I think was on with the kit. I think it was the one that they found in Steven's garage. They were trying to connect that to her, and oh, look at Tom Pierce is willing to say, oh, yeah, I think I did give her one of those. And, well, look what we found. But it didn't work out, so they abandoned the idea. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it too far-fetched out there in chat world?
It's not for me. I'm sure they came up with multiple different things that they may have played with, and it just didn't work, so they moved on.
You always have a couple extra ideas going, a couple things in the pan, and if it doesn't work, then you move on and you forget about it, and you go towards, then you drop a key. Oh, this isn't going to work. Okay, well, then I guess we got to drop a key. Colburn,
Yep.
Link? No, I'm just kidding. It's probably not exactly like that, but.
Yeah.
So the one that we just showed in the picture, rumor has it, the one in the back, the driver's side of the back, that had, I think, tools in it, was black, and we were just talking about it with dust on it. That's the one that came with the Toyota car.
Yeah.
The one, the kit, there's an emergency kit that they found in Stephen Avery's garage, I think in the Suzuki maybe even, or over, I forget.
It was sitting on the hood of the Suzuki.
And then it's just funny because then they say Teresa had one, but it's missing. You know what I mean? And then, like, what are you talking about? The only one in the pictures is the one of Stevens. Is that it? Oh, no, that's not it. Like, what?
But this tire tool that they found and that was photographed at it's actually photographed at the crime lab that Sunshine Christina got those pictures for. That lug wrench came from an emergency roadside kit. It is not part of the Toyota RAV4 toolkit. It's a separate thing, and it's never been explained.
I don't exactly know what you mean. Rumor has it. How do they not have it if it's in pictures? Which one specific?
Okay, let's back up. I think she's saying.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Tom Pierce claimed in the phone call that he made on November 4th, 5th, that he gave Teresa an emergency roadside kit. There was no emergency roadside kit found in this RAV4. However, there was an emergency roadside kit found in Averys' garage, sitting on the hood of that old gray Suzuki. Hopefully that clarifies it some. If
I
not,
think
let
that
us
does.
know.
Yeah. And we can go. We've been through those photos a ways back. This is a ways back in our pictures, but I was just saying that I think it's possible because of how brains work, how people work, and that is, let's connect these two things that might not really be connected. And then when they figure out it just doesn't going to work because someone's going to say, oh, that was Steven's kit, I bought it for him, we have a receipt, then you have to abandon that idea.
Yeah. But they could have said something to Steven and said, look, I bought that, or somebody bought that, blah, 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 and I can prove it. And so they had to abandon it.
Yep. So they let it go. Right.
But again, where's the kit that Tom Pierce allegedly gave Teresa that should have been in her fucking car?
This is where the lies come into play, right? This is when you say, like, well, who's lying about what now? Because something's, and the killer, why would why would they get rid of it? But then leave that one tool, and then maybe even potentially a bloody instrument. You know what I mean? But leave that tool, but then you got rid of the rest of them. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
The killer left her blood in the car. It wasn't, he or she wasn't trying to clean up. Because think about it. If you killed this woman and they don't find blood in her car, they just find her car, that's not enough. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not enough to say that anything's happened to her. Well, her car got abandoned here. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're trying to get away with this crime, why don't you wipe down the blood in the back?
You know,
why don't you hide her blood?
Yeah, exactly. Something else to consider. Now, this is January 06. This car doesn't look like this now. They took all this stuff apart. So this is a few months after the whole deal, and then there's the alleged blood.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of the stains.
What's the date on this photo?
I think it's January 13th.
13th?
Let's see. Yep, January 13th, 3:44 p.m.
January 13th. Damage already done. Samples already collected.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's a done deal.
They love tarps, don't they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They just love their
do.
tarps.
They do.
My stepfather, he loved his tarps too. I can see why. They do have a good purpose. So that's the guy. Is that right? I know his face. I know who he is.
I don't know if
I've
that's
seen his,
Reimer or I don't know
I've
if that's
seen his
Reimer
face before.
or I just don't know who that one is.
Hey, there's a white Jeep.
Yeah, of course there is.
Of course, there is a white Jeep. It's so funny that I used to drive such a similar, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but similar car to this. It was a similar model. You see any ash? Like, did it look like she was a smoker?
She
See
was a
some
smoker.
dog hair, cat hair in there. It looks kind of dirty ashes.
Yeah, but this is that's a drink holder. But
Yeah.
I do notice that there's no top. I don't see the lid because there
Yeah.
should be a lid that drops down and covers that, but it's gone too.
Maybe it had
That's
blood on it.
it's overly
Honestly,
bright.
yeah. It's embarrassing, that work right there, what they did.
It is.
It's embarrassing to, for one citizen to lie to another one over this shit, over money. Basically, it always comes down to money. Poor people lose.
Money and reputation.
Hey, what's he measuring?
I don't know. Saw that. Trying to see a patch here. State Patrol.
Patrol.
I don't know what
There's
the
the
State
Rambo
Patrol was
gun.
doing. What the State Patrol was doing there on January 13th. Interesting.
Babysitting.
I know we've asked for all reports from the State Patrol about the case, and we've told that there really isn't any. Should have been a report for this because he was there doing some kind of activity. I don't know what
You
that
gotta go to the
is.
orange tag.
Can you read that?
Toyota Rev. Yeah, that'd be easier.
Let me flip it.
Rear. Yeah, I mean, you can flip it. Rear cargo. Toyota Rev. Rear cargo area. J Hawkins. Silver colored cardboard box.
Interesting.
What? All of that
It's
for
really,
a silver colored cardboard box?
really nondescript there.
Well, what is in the box, sir? Can you believe I haven't even checked the tracking on my golf clubs during our recording yet?
You better get that checked because they
might
be
have
arriving
moved.
early.
They might come
suckers might.
right.
Yeah, they might be arriving early, and you'll have to schedule around. Get out there.
That does not happen. Things do not arrive early in Hawaii.
I completely get it.
I heard someone saying the other day, they're like, "You mean in Amazon in a big city? Like you can order something in the morning and it'll get there that day?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so."
You can't hear.
Same day, huh?
Yep.
It's a little mind-boggling for me because it's like a week is pretty good.
There's certain things that you can order the night before that'll arrive here the next day. Absolutely, because they have local pickup. Depending on. I mean, certainly not everything, but there are several things actually. So.
Green colored pen, marble essence, crime lab found under driver's seat.
There you
That's
go.
definitely Teresa's pen.
Cassette label.
Found by laboratory in rear cargo area.
Yep.
Because she did like weddings and stuff, but she was a photographer, not a videographer. Okay, that's interesting. What is that? A fortune cookie? Piece of paper written in English and French. Great. Found in the driver's visor. Okay, yeah, I want to see that thing.
If I go in too far, it's going to blur out.
Well, they did a
Back it up.
horrible job of
I can't read. It's too blurry. Because I
bottoms
need some
and
new I need some new eyes. If you find some used ones, I might take those if they don't have too many miles on them.
no one can read that. Don't worry, you're not that blind.
Okay.
St. Christopher Clip, driver's sun visor, crime lab. So that's something that's important to Teresa.
Sure. Absolutely.
So the way that they, I don't know if that was ever returned. You know what I mean? But they got the bones back.
Surprising that it would be in the visor, but
I'm just saying,
maybe.
like that's something that would be important to her probably, but
Sure.
they didn't get.
And her family.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
These are the wipes that were in the bag. Yeah.
Yep. Handy wipes.
No cleaner. Well, I was like, hey man, if it's somebody cleaning something up, you better dust that for fingerprints too.
There it is again. There's your note. There's your note.
Yeah, there it is.
That's in French. Why don't you read that, or do I need to call Jerome? Get Jerome to read
it. I don't know. I'm butchering it. Love never grows. It always just gets more complicated. Oh,
yeah, I can't.
Did I say
I
that
never
like
took.
That? What?
I never took French or any foreign language in high school.
I did Spanish and I did my foreign language and sign language actually.
We weren't required when I was in school, but that changed not long afterwards.
And then I moved to Korea and I learned Korean. So I should have taken Korean in college. That would have been helpful. Yeah, we know what
this is. What I wanted to see was the tampon. Yeah, thanks.
Found in the glove box. Well, they're just being thorough.
Yeah. Another pen.
A pen from the bank. I knew it was a bank pen. I didn't even have to see the label. Pure air odor eliminator.
Yeah, it's like Odoban or something,
Well, we know that Teresa smokes cigarettes, and sometimes it's taboo depending on who, like your mom or your auntie, or you don't want them to know. So
might have been a little weed smoking. So get rid of the skunk.
I mean, you're 25. You're living in the rural bum. We used to call it bumfuck Egypt. That's what the zone, bumfuck Egypt. In the middle, really rural is all. I mean, I guess she was kind of close to Kaukauna and Appleton, so it's not bad. But like me, you have to drive 30 minutes to anything good, or Green Bay, I guess, isn't too far. But I mean, what's she gonna do? She smoke a little weed. Leave her alone.
Exactly. Hey, where I grew up, we also had a town called Bumfuck.
What did you have?
Same town, Bumfuck, Egypt. We had one of those too. Yeah, we had one of those too.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that lived out there. Because it would take so long to get there. We'd drive out there, and then there'd be nothing around there when you get there. Like, there's nothing to do out here, man. Let's go back to where there was things.
You know the story about the Band-Aid? And Wendy Baldwin? Did you read that about the Band-Aid?
I don't know about the Band-Aid.
Yeah, we'll get into that another time. I'd have to refresh my memory, but allegedly Wendy Baldwin went into where they were storing the car and moved some Band-Aid with blood on it got moved to the RAV. I'll have to find that. Report.
Well, Bethany is also from BFE.
Oh yeah, Bethany. Yeah, I grew up in. I mean, it was. I mean, I grew up in East Tennessee, but we had one of those towns there too. We actually had a couple of them, places called BFE, no doubt. But yeah, back to this Band-Aid story. I'll refresh my memory and get the report, and we'll talk about it another time. It's quite wild, actually, what she did.
I'm not surprised that it's wild. Any miracles involved in that story?
A miracle that she wasn't arrested, in my opinion. But,
Another pen. Marble Essence. We saw this pen.
I was to say, how many times we're going to look at this damn pen?
Body splash.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
I mean, that would be relevant actually because
Sure.
it could have her DNA on it. It could Cody's mix. Was it in
Yep,
the
we've heard
CD
about.
player? Wait, rear driver's seat. No, it wasn't in the CD player.
There you go.
Cody's mix. Why wasn't she listening to DJ Brad's mix?
This is her
So I had one of
conversion
those.
thing. I did
Yeah, I had
too.
one of those.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice CD player. She was rolling with CDs in 2005. I think I didn't get an iPad until 2006, 5.
Yep, all
Yeah.
this was sitting in the back left passenger floorboard area. And then here's the fix-a-flat, I think, that they found
Does it look
somewhere in the
used?
car.
Let's look at that. That does not look used, folks. I'm sorry. Look at that tube. Unless she took that tube out, cleaned it, and put it back, that thing's brand new.
Looks brand new to me.
It kind of throws out the idea of they used that fix-a-flat. No, she kept a fix-a-flat in her car in case. Wow, crazy.
Well, considering, she drove all over that region, I don't blame her.
Absolutely.
Scraper.
What? Like, it's not a bad idea to have a can of fix-a-flat, guys, because if you get a flat tire and you don't know how to change your tire, or you don't think you're strong enough to change your tire, or you don't want to stop in the middle of the night, you just spray that in there. That will seal up a minor leak, not a major one. It'll seal up a minor leak and give you a little bit of pressure, not a lot. We might give you enough to get to the station,
Right, or home or whatever, or somewhere safe.
Yeah, so I think it's non-nefarious. It's not involved in the crime because it's clearly not used.
Lint roller.
Another DNA wonder.
She had a couple of cats probably, or at least one cat, so I'm sure she had to keep one of these handy.
Well, and if you're into photography, you have people and you use that in your job. Imagine how many people's DNA she could have on there. Everybody from every wedding, every kid's sweater. You know what I mean? That you just want to make the picture perfect.
Yep.
Royal jelly with papaya fragrance. Body lotion.
Ooh. Well, you just never know. You might need some of that.
Well, you gotta smell good, man.
I don't know what this is.
Come on, Bethany. You gotta back me up on that one. You gotta smell good, right?
Something and
Something
bath.
And bath. Bed and bath. Pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice lotion, Jack. That's what it is.
Okay. All right. Looks like
Satin Hands hand cream.
There you go.
Center console.
Well, being Wisconsin and it gets, colder than hell, you better keep your hands moisturized.
You gotta keep that skin good, and like Bethany says, you gotta smell good.
Yep, no doubt. Chris Isaac CD. Okay, here's a little utility knife of some kind.
Looks pretty clean. If you have to open a beer or a bottle of wine, you keep that around. I have one of those in my car.
Yep.
Silver pocket knife. Really common. Kind of cool looking. Yep. It's kind of like a kind of retro looking old style Boy Scout kind of.
It does. Yeah, I like it.
I like it. That's helpful.
These are the various adapters for the, I think her CD, DVD converter.
That's right. You pull off the one that works, and then you got 4 other ones that you never use, and they end up in the back of your car.
That's right. Gum.
Your Frost gum right now. That sounds good.
Another pen or whatever. Yep. And another one.
You gotta have RAV4. It's a nice pencil. You gotta have tape.
Yep. Another pen.
This is good police work. It's good practice for them. I think that's what Jerry Buting called it. Practice searches and dry run searches. Is it practice search? You need a practice search.
Some batteries. Huh.
Well, I mean, this could be why they're trying to connect the batteries to the batteries, right? Here we have fresh batteries and we have burnt batteries in the fire pit. And that could be
Okay.
what, like you're saying, they're always trying to connect something, right?
Yep.
And they're trying to give the prosecutor something to work with, whether they take it or not, you know. That's how I see that. So were they trying to connect those batteries? Yeah, maybe. But they knew they couldn't do it, so drop it. The
This looks
key to
like
your
some kind
future.
of business card.
Well, she was in Photos by Lisa Ann. So she was in that business group that met on Wednesdays.
Yep, that's right.
That was like a young, like I think it was like independent business people that needed help, and then you join this group and they kind of counsel you and you talk each other through your business issues, and it's just like like a emerging business group. So she was
Yep.
also in that group with Brad Check. I'm just going to drop out the truth when it's here. And he did leave that group a few months prior to that. He said that his work changed or whatever. But I always suspected that maybe it had something to do with when the relationship stopped with Teresa. But I can't prove that. And
That, that's probably true, though. What you just said. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Some kind of plastic container.
Blow up
Looks
on the
like a
card again. There's a number on it. Which one? I'm sorry, Bethany. Blow up on the card again. What card?
maybe the one with the that one.
That card, I think. Is there a number on it? You mean the person's business number? Yeah, but these are somebody else's business, just people, her contacts, right? South Ridge Road.
Yeah, that one. This one I don't.
Photos by Lisa Ann.
There's a number there, but I can't hardly make. Let me zoom out a little
Toll
bit.
free 598 1990 866. Which
Yeah.
phone number, Bethany? South Ridge Road in Green Bay. Isn't that funny? There's a South Ridge in Green Bay and there's a North Ridge in Milwaukee. That's really
Of course.
funny. And they're the opposite, right? Like that one is Green Bay is actually north and Milwaukee is south. Customer. So anyway, she had some Len Tarasinski.
Yeah, his number is 866, or you read it. You can read it better than I can.
Well, first mortgage, customer's first mortgage. Maybe she was interested in getting a house at some point. Hey, Teresa, when you get your business in order, keep me in mind if you're ever looking for a house.
Yep. She may have went and talked to him and she got a card, and there you go.
We don't know. Maybe she was thinking about, maybe I can buy this house that mom owns and then I can rent it to Scott and I can get, who knows what she was. I think Teresa was a really cool person, and it's one of the reasons that I keep coming back because, I don't bring it up a lot, but I'm from that area, one county over from where Teresa. I have friends that were in similar circles, right? We're like one or two people away from knowing each other, and so like she was into photography. I went to film school, so we were, she graduated a year before I did. We're both from rural BFE, as we say, and I think she's a cool person. I think she was on to like making moves in life, and she was going to get a house maybe, and yeah, I think that's what that is. And then she had her friend who also did photography named Lisa Ann.
Yep, I know that she moved home. At least as I remember the various things that we picked up, she moved home to save money.
Yeah, to save money, so maybe you could get your own place, right?
Well, she just, she was working, but she was clearly,
Did you get the number, Bethany?
Yeah, did you get the number? I can go back. Wanted to compare.
Otherwise, you're just gonna ask, "Can you have that picture, Jen?" And you got to dig it up. So, last chance. Okay, yeah, she got it.
Okay.
Cool. Let us know if anything comes of that, Bethany. Hair tie. Definitely Teresa's hair tie.
More pens.
More bank pens. She's the bank pen theft person, isn't she?
Looks like
It's
some
always
candy.
it's some candy, but relevant because you don't know who gave her the candy. Who's okay? Those are for.
I'll tell you what these are. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Remember when they were at the Averys salvage yard all freaking day before they moved the RAV?
Yeah.
Allegedly, this whoever the hell went up underneath the RAV to loosen something on the transaxle, took these bolts out. I'm 99% sure that's what those are.
Bolts for drive shaft.
See?
Toyota RAV4.
See?
Damn, you're good, Jack. You get the points. The points are all awarded to you.
Hey,
and
I can have
bonus.
this whatever the
11 cents.
That's right. Bobby pin, hair clip.
Bobby pins.
Yep.
There you go. Here's the inside the blue bag.
Yep.
It's a really nice. It's a beautiful tripod. Like I never had no tripod that nice.
That is nice.
I ain't never had no that nice. What is that? A hair? Golf cart. Seat of cart.
Yep. Yep. Remember there was those hairs that were sitting on that golf cart.
I think they determined them to be pubic hairs. Shotgun shells.
Location. Roland. Does that say Roland?
It says Roland M. LaFond.
What the hell's that?
What is Roland M? Hey, Bethany. Yeah. Well, there it is. The address: 5678 Hilbert. What the fuck is this?
Huh. I don't know.
Let me get a screenshot of that right now. I'm gonna work on that later.
Kaharsky and I can just send you. I can copy and paste it. Well, yeah, I can copy and paste this photo.
I already got it.
Okay, all right.
But why the hell are they collecting stuff from some other property out in Hilbert?
I don't know.
That is really random, man. This is why, guys, why we do this.
I can't read that. I can see this.
Let's see here.
I think that's...
It says 30-06, so I'm thinking it's about the gun. Safe. It says location safe. And then something Win Mad 30-06 Bolt SN, the serial number. But it's the 30-06. I'm pretty positive. Look at that.
In the gun.
There it is.
It was in the gun safe. Okay. Woo.
I mean, you can take about. Man, that's gonna be accurate too.
Take your arm off.
Oh man, that thing is gonna take an elk down, I guess, huh?
Oh yeah. 30-06 is a powerful gun. Very.
So is that a bolt action? See that huge bolt on that thing?
Yep.
Dang. I have one amazing story about hunting. I don't hunt anymore or shoot anything, but when I did, I was in a like we're trying to exterminate the bats from mom's house, mom's attic. So at night they all fly out, right? Right at dusk, the bats all fly out. So we were all set up with shotguns and whatever. Cousin was over, all the stuff, and everybody's like blowing off rounds, like it's some Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or something. And they get, what they gave me, Jack? Everybody's got these 12 gauge pumps, and
you got a pellet gun.
Bolt action 410. Do you know what a 410?
I do.
Caliber? It's the smallest shotgun available. This skinny little thing of a shotgun.
Yep.
And who got the bat, Jack? Who?
You nailed it.
I did. With the smallest, hardest to use gun.
You go, girl.
Everybody else basically had semi-auto pump action, just boom, 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 boom. And yeah, it's my glory days of shooting.
There you go. Good job.
And that's it. When you do something that good, then you quit. I'm done. No, I'm just kidding. I want to say it was shared residence with Mike and Teresa Halbach, or was it residence of a guy who had been in contact with Teresa Halbach? Okay, Bethany, that's interesting.
Can you read that?
South. Let me take this comment down here. Yeah, of Avery property is the last part. I think it says South Ridge of Avery property. Same. I don't know if that says South. I don't know if I'm sold on that word. And then Powell, Reuben Powell,
Officer Robert Powell, Robert Powell,
Robert Powell, and feces.
Dog PCs. Okay, that's what I thought it said. I wanted to be sure. Another gun.
It's called a shit poop, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, another gun. That one looks like it's an A-team or something. Okay, what do we got? Another Bushnell single action. Oh no, look at that underneath. It's oh man, the thing is a clip. Look at in front of the trigger there.
Yeah.
The left. Yeah, look at that. It has a magazine.
Yep.
It's like some old military rifle or something.
Now a lot of times, I'm not really a gun person, but if you didn't have a clip in, there was a plate that screwed in there, right? Pretty sure.
It could be. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
You could modulate that.
You take the plate off and you buy a converter.
Do it either way.
And put a clip in right there.
Yeah, I mean, they convert just about anything on a gun.
Oh yeah.
With the right piece. Gun 30-06 Remington. Robert Powell. Yellow neon backseat. It was the backseat of Earl's car.
There you go.
He's the only one that had a yellow neon.
Woo. Scope on that bad boy.
That means I really am a bad shot.
Or you just really like it dialed in, one of the two, man. God.
No, I'm just making a joke. I was like, everybody else doesn't have a scope and they hit their target, and then big guy's like, I'm just really bad at shooting. I need the extra help.
Kaharski in the safe. A Remington 870.
870. Wingmaster. 12 gauge pump. Yeah, you're gonna hit some wings with that.
And
kind of ugly looking.
Another gun in the safe. Remington 700 pump.
30-aught.
I had plenty of shotguns, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, that one had a clip. Did you see that?
I did. There it is.
Yeah. It's a really unique loading mechanism. Most of them are pump,
I actually thought we were done with the guns. Okay.
Hey, we are. Look at that. It's winter again.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna be outside.
You know what, Jack? It's a really good time for us to wrap it up because we're almost at 3 hours.
Yeah,
this is March 1st,
actually. Yeah.
Which is a great spot for us to come back to.
This is the March 1st search warrant photos.
Okay, then we know where we left off.
Yep. There you go.
I like that style. So, well, that's wonderful. Anybody have anything out there in the ether? Still have a few people with 20. Oh, thank you guys for sticking around. Anybody have anything out in the comments section? Jack, do you have anything to add?
No, not really. Apologies for eating such a huge dinner and it just knocked me the hell out, but it did. Man, I was gone.
I also had a really big lunch too. Uncharacteristically, I was hitting it hard, so I almost took a nap too. But so I hear you. I'm right there with you. Don't worry about that. No harm, no foul. We had it just happens that Big Jeff popped on, and that was great. We're probably gonna do something on Friday night, either this Friday night or next Friday night. We'll keep you guys posted, and I'll try to give you as much warning as possible. But if you miss it, you can catch up with the replay. So Don't worry about it, Jack. Just glad to have you here. I'm glad that we did these pictures. I really love doing this picture time stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I've got to just briefly throw in is, whoever it may be out there on Twitter, just, keep your radar tuned to Candace Owens and, Sean Reck and some of the various things that have already been said that are they're doing it to create controversy and so that's really it.
That's kind of the only one of the biggest things that's been going on. But you haven't seen those new Ken Kratz videos. You got to see those new Ken Kratz from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. He looks like he's wearing clothes from 2005 still. No offense to people from 2005.
I'm not sure what's going on with him in those videos, but he don't look good, dude. He
doesn't look good. He hasn't looked good in a while. I think he's I thought about it. This case is all he has. Not to be too hard on Ken Kratz. I don't want to be too hard on anybody. I mean, he deserves what he gets, but
and a wife that's 25
he doesn't have
years
anything
younger than
else.
him.
Nothing. What is he going to do?
Exactly. He's imprisoned himself in many ways, and his wife.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, like, he is kind of getting some retribution. I know it's not getting locked up or getting disbarred, but he did. Well, wait, didn't he get?
But he kind of is.
Yeah, but he kind of did get some retribution, for what it's worth.
No doubt.
He's not doing well. Let's put it that way. He's not expanding on the empire. Let's put it that way.
No, not at all.
Well, this has been a blast as usual. Thanks again. Thank you. Rumor has it we were going to get to that Man Miracle video. I think with Big Jeff on one of these Fridays. I think that's probably what we're looking at doing, the Man Miracle video. And I think we've been kind of throwing around the idea of having the panel vote on whether it is a man miracle or not a man miracle. And I think that and have the people in the chat also vote. So I think that might be a lot of fun to just kind of get loose a little bit and enjoy ourselves a little bit with the content and try to keep it a little lighter, but still focused on the task at hand. Bringing clarity to the case.
I think it's serious. This is serious business. It is to me, but at the same time, for regular people that are not necessarily connected to this personally, we have to have some levity in our own mind, and I think that helps us also to keep some of our own personal biases out of it. You got to pull back and look at it as a reasonable person, no matter. I mean, we strongly feel that yes, Brendan and Stephen were wrongly convicted, but we can't just, to me, for when I make a leap from one thing and say, because I don't have information in the middle to go from one thing to another, but the end result sure looks like that's what happened. That's speculation, and I always try to say the speculation, but we have to be careful there, right? Anyway.
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Absolutely. Right. Well, for everybody out there from the Discussing a Murderer team, for Jack and Big Jeff, this is Jeff Jones saying this has been live after Discussing a Murder. See you guys next time.
Good night.
On to the next.